What's up, everybody? Episode 112 of the All You Can Hear podcast. I am one of your 5 co-hosts, Tanner, and with me, as per usual, are
Gamer Boy Colt,
Jonathan.
New console Cody.
It's me, Winslow.
and I'm post-show Pat. I'm just kidding, Pat's not here.
Oh, dang.
He's dead.
Yeah, Pat, R.I.P. baby boy. This week we are talking about E3, everything that came out from the conference, just kind of general thoughts on the conference, the games that were shown, what wasn't shown, stuff like that.
In other words, we're glossing over 90% of it and focusing most of it on Animal Crossing.
Welcome to our Animal Crossing New Horizons deep. Maybe not would be a bad idea to maybe do a podcast on that at some point. But we'll be going in order of the press conferences. We have a Google Doc. It has games. I don't know if we'll touch on everything listed on the Google Doc, but we'll try to hit on a lot of stuff. We're going to go in order of the conferences. So first, we're going to talk about Microsoft. They were on Sunday afternoon, first conference, and oh my God, did they have the games.
They had a lot of games. No exclusives, really, but they had games.
Not many exclusive. Well, I'm looking at the list. I'm trying to think how many exclusives they had. It was like 4 off this list, I think. 4 exclusives off the list we have.
Halo Infinite,
and
Gears 5, Bleeding Edge, because it's Ninja Theory, and then, well, I guess Psychonauts 2 isn't technically an exclusive, but they acquired Double Fine, so
yeah,
it's not an exclusive.
It's not an exclusive, but Phantasy Star Online 2, weirdly
it's
enough.
not an exclusive.
Oh, is it not? Is it coming to PlayStation 2?
Yes,
but just PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Phil Spencer announced that it's coming to everything else, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it might come to Switch. That could be wrong there.
Well, it's
PS2.
It's on Switch in Japan, but only through streaming.
I have no
Kind of like how Resident Evil 7 is available on Switch in Japan, but only through like streaming. Like it's not digital, it's not physical. It's like you have to stream it to your Switch. It's a whole weird thing.
What about Crossfire X?
What was Crossfire? Maybe that is an exclusive. Like I said, I don't remember. They showed a shit ton of games.
That's fine. Like not like being like, I need to know my Crossfire X is on there because let me tell you, don't care about Crossfire X.
I don't even know what that is.
It was that one thing. They had that CG trailer where it was like military. And it was like, and like Phil Spencer was like, this PC legend that we know everybody loves, only famous in China and and South Korea, maybe.
That may be an Xbox console exclusive. I'm almost guaranteed. I would guess it comes to PC. But anyways, the first game on our list that I really want to talk about is Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk
2077.
Your breath. No, you just start just quoting the whole Keanu thing. That was like so out of left field. But now with a week, like living in a post Keanu and Cyberpunk 2077 world, it just feels so right.
It really
does. Like top E3 moments of the decade.
It's up there.
It's honestly, it's probably up there. Like between because there's not a single person I know or a single reaction video I've watched that is nothing less than losing their shit for Keanu Reeves. It's just like, oh my God, that's Keanu Reeves, and then it cuts, and then like the stage starts to lift up, and it's just Keanu and his blazer he wears everywhere, and the same pair of pants, and then just a different shirt.
But would he have to ever change his clothes?
No, absolutely not.
No, exactly.
God, it was so
everyone
good.
in the room where we were watching also screamed.
Yeah, we all lost our shit. I've never heard I've probably heard a few bigger cheers at E3 conferences but Keanu was up there.
Oh yeah,
and definitely up there for this decade because it
was so like it was like one thing for Keanu to be in the game. It was another thing for him to be like there in person, just saying Cyberpunk.
And what's so fun? It's so funny too because you could tell he was like trying to stay on script, but also like he sounded robotic when he was on script. But when like he would riff a little, it felt a lot more natural.
Yeah,
like he'd be like, when CD Projekt Red came up to me and told me about Cyberpunk 2077, I was excited. And it's just like, okay, just let Keanu be Keanu for like 5. He really didn't even have to say anything. Just come up on stage, start pointing at everybody, and then leave.
Yeah, that's it. Same thing with Bam Bam, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to the dog later. But Oh man, and the fact that it's not just a cameo, he has the second most dialogue in the game.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's
He's the AI chip in your head. He's basically the fucking Iron Man AI.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much like Cortana.
yeah,
They're basically the same.
But,
thing.
like,
we're
way
saying
better.
the same thing.
way better and way hotter. Am I
I,
right,
mean, I know.
boys?
I know. I'm just saying they're AI. But I mean, you know,
Iron Man's
Jar-
more relatable. People know more.
but
about
Jarvis
Iron
is just a
Man.
voice. He didn't have a physical form.
Oh, so you can't jerk off to Jarvis.
Actually, he does. It's called the Vision.
But that's the Vision. Okay. Okay.
But wasn't Jarvis an actual person in the Peggy Carter show or something like that?
No, he was. He was. I mean, you see.
So he did have a physical thing.
You see Jarvis in Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendell, I think you're breaking down here. I think
Let's just call Keanu Reeves the most relatable thing people in this room can relate to. Zangetsu from Bleach.
I feel like that's only a thing I would.
I don't
Everybody-
remember.
What are
Bleach
you
at all.
talking about?
It was Ichigo's sword's physical form.
Why
Like,
do
in
you
a-
talk
in
to
a
me like
body.
I know?
In a body. It was like, have you not seen Bleach?
No.
no.
Every
We've
time we
addressed-
bring it up, he says, "I don't know what that is."
When we went over the OPs, I was like, man, I've never watched a show.
Yeah, he did.
Motherfucker. I
don't
swear to
rem-
God, if you come over here.
I don't remember March. But yeah, so that's Cyber. I mean, they showed a bunch of CG. That's like the general feeling of this year's E3 was like there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay. It's shown like during the actual conferences, it was just a lot of CG and stuff. So like, I mean, I think Microsoft showed like 5 gameplay demos, maybe 6. Like there was not a lot of gameplay shown
No, not at all.
across any of the conferences.
They showed some cool CG trailers, but I just got tired of it real
Yeah,
quick.
they showed some cool CG trailers. I was like, man, that will be really cool when we see gameplay of that in a year or 2
Yeah.
or even 3 or longer.
Or 5.
Or 5 or 7. Kind of like,
Or never.
Bethesda
Vaporwave.
did with, Elder Scrolls 6 last year. It's like, we're making it. Surprise.
Yeah.
But
So-
Cyberpunk also got a release date.
yeah.
It's coming out in April, which is...
Which
a lot sooner than
I
a
am
lot of
excited.
people thought.
It's sooner than I thought. I
Yeah.
really thought they were going to hold off till the end of... I thought they were going to hold off till new consoles. So now it's in that weird position where they're getting it out in April, which is 7 months before new consoles. But then, like, people are going to be like, oh, give it to me on new console. I mean, same thing happened with GTA 5. We were like, we have to have GTA 5 on new consoles. It took a year to port them over to new consoles. Like, is Cyberpunk going to be one of those things like, hey, it's coming out for, Xbox One and PS4 in April, but if you wait till next November, you can play it on PlayStation 5 and Scarlet. But also that brings up a whole thing about like, well, they're supposed to be backwards compatible. So like, is there just going to be a patch? Are they actually just going to reprint it? Like, it's a whole mess that I'm very
I
excited
think
to delve
it's
into.
gonna be a patch situation.
I-
It has to be.
I would think so too, but then like also if you can make extra money, why don't you?
yeah.
I think. Well, I think.
I wish they wouldn't.
Sorry.
but-
I think they'll do both. Like they'll have it to where they'll patch it, but that sounds weird. But if you,
I get what you're saying. Like if you haven't bought it before but have the new consoles, you can just buy it on.
yeah.
I
can see
guess
that.
they could do that.
I mean, any way to make money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is definitely going to be very story driven.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, CD Projekt Red.
I mean, that trailer we got was a story trailer, which was interesting because you see the guy.
I think that's the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to be.
It has to
because
be.
It's the same people from the gameplay we saw last.
Yeah,
year.
I think everything we've seen is within like the first 3 or 4 hours of the game, like including
Yeah.
that 40-minute demo from last year.
Yeah, because that guy, oh man, whatever his name was, but he tries to kill you, he was like your contact or something in the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really interesting.
And then from like just things this isn't like insider information, it's just like general thoughts on Twitter. What I've heard is that the demo they showed behind closed doors this year is a little bit further in the game, but still not like super far.
Oh, wow.
Like probably within the first 6-7 hours of the game.
Man.
So I'm interested, and I think CD Projekt Red came out and said like, hey, we're going to release like the video of that demo, but it's not going to be till August. I think.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They're waiting for.
Gamescom, I think.
Yeah, they're waiting till after Gamescom to release it. So I think it's going to be like the end of August before they release it to like the general public. But apparently it's like just as long. It may even be a little bit longer than last year's. It's like a 45-minute demo that they're going to release. So, and it was playable, I believe,
Still, though, that's
like behind
awesome.
closed doors. So I'm excited for that, coming out in April, which again way sooner than I thought, because I thought for sure it was next November or would even get pushed back to 2021.
I remember a while ago, and I didn't say anything, but somehow this Instagram page got knowledge of Cyberpunk having a release day, and I was like, it was like spring, and so whoever got that, good job.
Yeah.
Because man, thank you.
So like we've seen Microsoft kind of in the past couple of years try to like gear towards more like the Asian market, because like I mean Sony just and Nintendo dominate over there. Like Microsoft has like no hold in like Japan or China or anything. So like you kind of saw that a little bit this year with like the Phantasy Star Online 2 stuff, which is huge news for people that love PSO games. And then that
Crossfire X,
Yeah.
which again, that's a very old game that hasn't been around forever, and it's just like that was just a weird presentation. I don't know.
But what if I told you could replay through the Saiyan saga once again in Dragon Ball Z?
100th fucking time. I don't care about that shit anymore. I know that stuff by heart. I don't want to play through it again.
It makes like
There's nothing appealing to that. to me.
there's nothing appealing
It's
about
appealing.
I mean, it looks cool.
I love the story.
Yeah.
but I don't want to play that game.
Like I've played it in Budokai 1, and Budokai 2, and Budokai 3, and Tenkaichi, and Tenkaichi 2, and Tenkaichi 3. Like I've played it in like 7 or 8 fucking Dragon Ball games.
But I bought you all a copy.
I mean, I'd play it, but
I mean, I'm not gonna be-
I don't want to.
And see, this is where they get your money, because like you tell me that, I'm like, well, I guess I'll play it, but like I'll be mad about it.
Yeah, but
I'll never directly buy it.
I'll
but
sit down.
Not for $60.
No,
like if it was like
no,
$10,
I'd be like,
I could be like,
okay.
okay, oh sure, let's fuck up Frieza. But like, and it's being sold as like an action RPG, which I guess the rest of them aren't sold like that. So maybe they'll do some interesting stuff that at least makes it different, as opposed to, hey, guess what? Did you know Super Saiyan?
But man, it's like you watch the show. It's like now you get to play like you're in it. Like
Again for the 40th time.
like
in
I've
20
never, I've
years.
never even played the games, and I'm tired seeing it.
Like 1000% though. Like even like RPG elements really can't solve this conundrum. Like,
Yeah, it seems weird in a Dragon Ball sense, 'cause I don't know how that even would work.
it doesn't seem like it would even be worth it, because it's not like it's adding anything new. Because the whole point of Dragon Ball is the fighting, and so you have a fighting game that then you have a story cut, and then a fight scene, and then a story cut. I don't even think like nothing. There's nothing appealing about like you get to RPG style this now. There's nothing appealing about
Yeah.
that.
What do you-
whatsoever.
Oh man, yeah.
It-
I don't know. I'm over.
Like if this was a Dragon Ball Super game, I would
I'd be
probably
way
I'd
more
be all
interested.
over it.
Yeah.
Because they haven't released anything like that. Like
I think that would be interesting.
like that would be at least different. At least a different story or something. I don't know why they just
the gameplay looked like one of the Tenkaichi games.
yeah. Which don't get me wrong, the Tenkaichi games rule, but I also played them already. 10, 12 years ago.
Nothing about that trailer told me and said this is something new. This is something different. This is something that's going to shake things up. It honestly looked like a worse rehashed version of a Tenkaichi game, and I just did not.
Now, what
into
if
it.
what if they made a Dragon Ball game that takes place in another? Because there's other universes.
Yeah.
Spoiler. What if it took place in another universe?
That would be hot
with
as shit.
with different
Yeah.
changes to the gameplay? Like,
Yeah.
with different
or a GT
storyline?
game.
Like
I'd
that,
love a GT game.
that would make much more sense because that's something they don't really explore. Like from what I've watched, they don't explore it in depth.
Yeah.
We just only know a handful of characters.
Or even I know this is
Like, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like they can do something with the who's that? Jiren is part of this team.
I hate Jiren so much. I don't want to see him ever.
But I mean, think about it though. Like he's also a super powerful character like Goku. Just like have a game like where he's the main character and like kind of like his exploits with that team or whoever they are.
there's so much you can do with like the world and the characters they have built with the Dragon Ball franchise, and they still just continuously are like, You have to play as Goku. You have to fight Raditz. Then you go train. Then you fight Nappa. Then you fight Vegeta. Then you go to Frieza, fight Frieza. Then the Cell games. Then the Buu Saga. Then you're done. It's been like that literally since I was a child.
Not even an open world game. I
don't literally.
There's nothing that
Yeah.
could get me to go back and play that and be satisfied right now, unless they show me something that completely shakes up the entire story of it all.
And see, and like
Unless it's like what's it called? Boost Fury.
for the GBA,
Yeah.
I love those games.
yeah, that
Those
game
are
was
some of my
awesome.
favorite Dragon Ball games of all time.
I think it'd be really cool to have a game like Fire Emblem with Dragon Ball Z World.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome because I mean that's what One Piece does. Like One Piece, granted, has a lot more story and characters than Dragon Ball, but like a lot of One Piece games are different genres. You have an open world One Piece game, you have a Dynasty Warriors-esque One Piece game, you have an RPG One Piece game. Like you can play. I mean, yeah, it's the same story, but it's all these different gameplay mechanics, and they add just enough new stuff where it's a different experience every time. So Dragon Ball's not really doing that. So I don't know.
Also, with the Naruto games, at least they progress the story.
Yeah, and with Naruto games, they add new stuff every time they release one of those games. It's not like you're just playing up till like the first Naruto Sasuke fight every
Yeah.
time, which is essentially what you're doing in all these Dragon Ball Z games.
Oh, hey, we need another Dragon Ball Z game.
Hey, hear me out. You know what would be awesome? Did you know Raditz was Goku's brother? What if you fought him?
Give me Budokai / Tenkaichi with everything post Buu Saga.
Yeah, I mean, even
Give me GT. Give me Super.
yeah, throw GT in there as like an alternate. Like after you beat the Super storyline, you go play the GT. It's like, hey, alternate history, and you play through the GT saga because I mean there was good stuff in GT.
And like the Xenoverse games do have that.
Yeah, and the Xenoverse games do that. I don't like the gameplay of the Xenoverse
Well, yeah.
games.
Here's the, I don't know. I don't think that people know the origins of Goku.
I think we need to teach the people about
Actually,
Goku.
we don't really have many games
We don't
with
have
the
a
origins of
fucking
Goku.
Dragon. We don't have anything with Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
that
No,
is true.
That would be actually really
Which
great.
I wonder if maybe they'll cover this here, considering this game is literally called DBZ Kakarot.
And plus, they have a lot of dragons or dinosaurs in the gameplay that we saw.
yeah, so
Which
I mean,
that's really wasn't a big part.
So
of
we're all
Dragon Ball
excited
Z.
now.
No,
I talked myself into it. I just pre-ordered it.
Can we please stop before I actually buy this game?
Speaking of pre-orders, who here is excited about Gears 5?
I am actually. I mean, it's another Gears game.
There's-
I love
mean-
Gears.
I mean, that
They got
trailer.
tiny heads and big bodies. I don't get it.
That is true.
What's there not to get?
I've never played a Gears game.
It's so weird because last year they show it off for the first time and it's like this gritty story. It's supposed to get you in, and then this year they open it with fucking
Billie Eilish.
And it's just like, this is weird, and like it's totally appealing to like the dude bros, like fresh out of high school, early into college, or just not doing anything.
I don't even know if it's dude bros. I think it's like middle school going to high school.
Maybe it's more that it's definitely trying to appeal to like, hey, you like aliens and also like COD? How about you play Gear? They're not even calling it Gears of War anymore. It's just
Gears
called
5.
Gears.
Gears of War or the whole Gears franchise, whatever the fuck it is, it comes from this era of like 360 where they were like, let's put people in real big suits and like let them walk around. And for some reason, Xbox has implanted that in my mind that that's what Xbox is about, just tiny people in big suits.
I mean,
I mean,
You're not.
you've heard of
wrong at all.
Forza?
Have you-
There's people in those cars.
you heard of this little game, Halo?
I know. When I saw Halo, I lost my shit. I'm like, is he a fucking? Because I've never played Halo, and so I'm looking at Master Chief or whatever his name is, which makes no sense. Master Chief.
Master Chief. I mean,
What
it
the
do-
fuck is that kind of name? First of all,
I mean,
It's a rank.
It's a rank, but also it
Oh,
doesn't.
is it really? Yeah, like IRL.
Master Chief.
Okay, well, I'm talking to the U.S.
Hey,
Army
Cody,
right now.
stolen valor.
No, Master Chief is a rank.
Stolen valor.
Master Chief is a rank in the Navy. It's not that high.
Well, I don't understand how. If he's Master Chief, he's in the Navy. Why is he in fucking space?
Well, he's in Space Marines.
But no, because
And
the,
Marines are
the
part of the
UNSC, the United Nations Space Command, they have their own navy. So, and the Spartans are under the Navy, so they get naval ranks.
and we're getting that in real life.
I want to throw up. Anyways,
Sorry, I could talk about lore all day.
This is what you learn in JRTC.
Exactly.
It's about Halo.
Can confirm.
anywho,
So Gears.
It's gonna be a fun experience if you like Gears.
I think it'll
The
be fun.
trailers were just bad. I don't know what they were thinking with the trailers. It's gonna be another Gears game.
That first trailer they showed last year actually looked like, okay, I'm kind of with it.
I mean, that was actual like gameplay and
Yeah.
stuff, and then with this, it's like
And then this year they showed multiplayer stuff, which I mean, I get Gears has multiplayer, but like I've never been drawn into the Gears multiplayer.
Even though Gears multiplayer is huge.
Yeah.
You gotta think about that.
I mean, like Gears is what started like Horde mode. Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
literally, like if it wasn't for Gears, like all these, I mean, I'm sure eventually somebody would have thought of, hey, what if you just fought endless waves of enemies?
which oh man, Horde mode was fun, and then they did that one mode. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it was like in Gears 3 where you get to play as the Locust.
Yeah.
instead.
I don't remember
That
that.
was so fucking
Yeah,
fun.
that was fun too. So I don't know. I thought it was weird that they focused more on the multiplayer, and also this game comes out in September,
yeah.
which is way sooner than
Yeah.
I figured.
I mean, they've been working on it for a while.
Sorry, we cut off Cody earlier. What were you gonna say?
About in the Halo trailer that we were gonna get to probably.
Oh, yeah,
next.
Yeah.
Fucking big ass head
but
ass.
but something I should say, like at least with like the Spartans and their designs, they're very proportional.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like Master Chief. Like I never look at Master Chief and go, man, that's a big ass mech.
No, yeah, like I mean, it's a like I mean,
But especially in like Gears 1 and Gears 2, you look at Marcus Phoenix, it's like you're a child in this 9-foot robot armor.
I remember I was thinking like and that's the thing too with like the gears and stuff, like none of the soldiers are altered, but then I remembered because humanity was on the verge of extinction, they actually started engine like making humans in like factories and stuff. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So
Gears lore.
Gears. Well, welcome to mine and Wenzel's new show called Gears Logic, and we will be dissecting every chapter of the Gears of War franchise, starting with Gears of War 2, because we were pretending Gears 1 does not exist. Gears of
Why?
War 1 was good.
It was
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna say.
It was
but
good.
Ge- but
Gears
Gear-
2 is by far like the best game in that series.
Oh yes.
I think Gears 3 is, but fuck me.
We're going to talk about Halo last just because they showed it last. So
Yeah.
I feel like we should close
I mean,
with
we're pretty much
that
going
and
in
Scarlet talk. They showed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which EA actually showed like the first gameplay demo the day before, but also like it was EA, they didn't do anything. They kind of like backed out of E3 like kind of last minute.
And I heard that, and I heard what they did was still bad.
What?
Their little thing.
Oh yeah, the EA Play stuff. Yeah, I heard that stuff did not go super great, and then it was like outside. I'm like, who wants to play video games outside in Los Angeles in June? Anyways,
I can't even see the screen. What the fuck?
Hey, sweaty balls.
Okay.
yeah, Wenzel's right.
Football, soccer.
No, sweaty balls.
But what I heard about Fallen Order is because that demo, I know a lot of people, including myself and several people at this table, thought the demo they showed during that, because we all watched like the demo they showed of Jedi Fallen Order, looked kind of weird. But like from everything I've heard, the demo they showed behind closed doors at E3 was like, they should have shown this. Like this is way better.
Yeah, people, because I read up on some stuff before this. People did not like what they saw with the Jedi Fallen Order stuff, and I'm like, I mean, I liked it, but like, I don't know, it was getting some pretty big hate.
Yeah, but apparently, like a lot of the press people that went to E3 was like, this is what they should have shown, and the reason is because I know it's like the laziest comparison in gaming, but apparently the combat is a lot like Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I saw. Like they said, like the combat was just not like from what they saw. Like I don't know about the closed doors, but like from what we saw, it was just like people were like, it's just uninspired and just not.
But
If it was like Dark Souls, I'd like it.
yeah,
But I don't think
well,
it's like Dark Souls. I think it's more like the Surge, and the Surge, fucking terrible combat. It's like I'm moving through butter and I'm swinging a very big rock.
See, this is the thing that kind of gets me is that they made it look like in that trailer like it was super super easy. And that's probably what our problem is that there's
Yeah.
a disconnect there where they're like, this is really cool, but then you watch the gameplay and it's like watching someone do expert Guitar Hero.
You're like, oh, that looks easy. Let
Yeah.
me try, and then you die.
Then you die. And if you make it look super easy, I mean, yeah, it looks fun, sure, but that's probably a lot of the reason why is because that emptiness, you're not really paying attention to the emptiness. Like the gameplay itself kind of speaks for much of the game.
Yeah.
And if it is much more complicated to fight and to battle like that, then that makes it a lot. That's a different world there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like since they made it look so easy in the game trailer, it's just kind of like, well, now it's like you just kind of look like you're hacking and slashing through a group of sparse enemies. But now that it shows that like, oh, one or two enemies actually fucking takes a minute to kind of get adjusted to it, and so.
Yeah, and another reason I'm just like not really super excited about this game is we've seen this story like 1,000 times in comics, even in the old EU stuff of just, oh, Jedi who survived Order 66. This is their little exploits. I mean, literally, like the last TV show Rebels had an entire character.
Yeah.
Whose story was this. And I'm just like, can we move on from in between episodes 3 and 4? God damn it, please.
That
That's
was
the
also
only
the
time
playthrough.
that exists in Star Wars.
Apparently.
Well, actually, I'm super interested in this for that exact same reason. Is because this is actually, since it's it looks like they are bringing in people like what's his name,
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker's
Yeah.
character.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, he's going to be in there and several other people. I think this era has a lot of good storytelling aspects to it. Of course, they do stick to the Lost Jedi and all the other stuff. I want to see more on the side, and again, I haven't seen Rebels yet, but I want to see more on the side of like the Empire. I want to see behind the scenes a little bit into the Empire and what they're doing. One of the things that they showed in this one trailer was the trailer they showed was how the Empire was taking sap from the trees on Endor. Or was it Endor? Is that what they were at? Not Endor. Fucking what's Chewbacca's? Kashyyyk. Yeah. So So I'm interested to see like what they do with it to some degree in a more gruesome setting. Like that's a way that's not like necessarily a kids quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also kind of tie up some loose ends and let us see how these characters actually play out and see who these characters like Saw Gerrera and like maybe a few other people. Like I believe that in that beginning sequence that may have been Chewbacca. So we might get to see actually
been,
how
yeah.
Chewbacca gets freed from captivity and things like
We saw it in Solo.
do we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Han literally frees him from a pit.
What if?
I forgot Solo.
Solo's an amazing movie.
What if
Don't
they make
talk
Solo
shit.
non-canon?
That would be stupid.
That would be stupid, but I don't know. It seemed. I mean, also when it didn't make $200 million opening weekend, they were like, "Well, we'll just make no more of these."
That was stupid.
It was really stupid.
So, and I
But
get
also,
I
too,
get saturation too.
But like everyone was acting like that movie was bombed, and I'm like, no, it made a lot of
A
money.
movie that makes it made like $135 million opening weekend or some shit like that. That is not bomb.
I don't know, Tanner.
If you make over $100 million opening weekend, that is not a bomb.
Tanner, we
Gets fired up.
you make like 200 million. Come on.
But I actually agree more with Cody. I'm excited for this more for the story. I just wonder how difficult it's going to be because I
Yeah.
get very discouraged with very hard games. Like how hard is it going to be for me to stop a stormtrooper's laser, pull the stormtrooper to me, pull it into my way, and make its laser go through it, and then disintegrate the laser before it hits me? Like how hard is that going to be to pull off?
I feel like just because, I mean, you get a lightsaber and it cuts through everything. I feel like just that in general, like when they show that, it's like, of course, they're gonna make that look easy. But I feel like if it's like Dark Souls, I feel like the combat, like, won't be like,
It's going to be big and heavy.
yeah, like, I don't know.
Dark Souls combat's also easy. It's just that a lot of people suck.
But
I'm
yeah,
saying that ironically and not at the same time.
I could tell. But yeah, no, I'm like you said, this has been done before in a show, in a comics, but I mean, in a game, like the last game that we had like a story focused, like, Jedi or not lightsaber wielding character was The Force Unleashed too.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, this is still pretty refreshing, and but then it's like Cody said, like the tie up loose ends. Like, how many loose ends do we need to tie up? Like, this is a rope. It's a rope.
Especially between 3 and 4.
I think there's but like I said,
No, there's a lot because it's a big universe, and I get that.
Well, I mean, like there should have been like They're neat. This huge gap is so interesting because like you go from to switching to an empire in the first 3, and then to overthrowing the empire, and it's like, what the fuck?
No. There's like a huge gap because it's like Republic, bam to Empire, but it's like there's that little like section where it's like, well, post Order 66, like hunting down rogue Jedi, the clones transitioning to becoming stormtroopers, and then stormtroopers being solely made up of volunteers. It's like, there's this a lot of stuff going on.
Also, let's not pretend that this game's coming out in November. It's coming out like 3 weeks before the movie comes out. Like, this game is going to sell probably incredibly well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
going to be a big Christmas.
It's going to be a big Christmas game because people are going to be like, oh, well, my little Timmy loves Star Wars. He gets Star Wars, and then he plays it. He's like, Mom, this game is fucking hard. So, I don't know. I'm interested. I want it to do well because it is Respawn, and Respawn makes a lot of good shit. And Anthem.
I can't think of a bad Respawn game.
Anthem.
Respawn didn't make
Anthem.
Wait.
Anthem.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. That was...
Anthem was made by
BioWare.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh,
Respawn made Titanfall.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know why the fuck. Yeah,
Apex.
yeah,
Apex.
and Apex. Yeah, you're totally right. I don't know why I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Egg on your
tired.
face.
Yeah, fuck me. They also showed Microsoft also does this thing every year where they're like, "Hey, indies." And for years it was just Cuphead was their entire indie lineup.
Yeah.
But this year they showed a
They
game.
popped off.
Yeah, they popped off, but one I really want to talk about is Spiritfarer.
Yes, 100%. That game's going to make us all cry.
That game looks
Ready.
beautiful. It looks like a fuck. I know this is a very low comparison, but it looks like a fucking Ghibli film, but game.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm going to buy it as soon as I can.
what was Spiritfarer?
Spiritfarer was the game where it showed like you were on
A boat
Yeah,
like that would
boat.
expand, and you'd hug the goat mom.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden like you hug Goat Mom. Oh, but Goat Mom became Spirit.
And she floats in the air, and then a giant ring forms in the background, and that's when the trailer ends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like it was on the boat, and like it also kind of looks like a management game a little bit because it looked like your house on this boat got bigger and bigger as time went on. But also it looks like you build like these deep connections with these characters, and maybe sometimes these characters die and you have to deal with that. So it's just like shit. Okay.
We did see another game, 12 Minutes.
Yes. 12 minutes looks
Oh shit.
incredible.
Yeah, man. 12 minutes is a game where you're stuck in a loop and you have to try to get like what the best possible outcome or
I don't know if it's the best possible or the correct.
Yeah.
or
It's live, die, repeat, baby.
or maybe
Or maybe it's both, or maybe that's just a decision for you, the gamer, to make. Is like, do you make the best decision? Do you make or just like a correct decision you can make, or do you make like the best possible decision? So that game is going to be super interesting for like people to play and like just get all this different stuff.
Yeah. What?
no, Jonathan's breathing right into the mic, and I'm like, man,
When you were staring at me, I'm just like, fucking say it.
I don't know what to say. I'm scared.
But so that was 12 minutes. It's also like an indie sort of thing,
Yeah.
but it looks like the higher budget indie titles we see now. Also, I don't know if this was like straight up I don't think this is indie, but it's also not AAA. I don't think it's the fucking Blair Witch game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
yeah.
That comes out very soon, too.
Yeah, it was so funny because like there were all these symbols, and I didn't want to believe it because I was like, that's the Blair Witch symbol. I'm like, there's no fucking way this is the Blair Witch game. And then Pat says this is Blair Witch, and then it shows it's fucking Blair Witch.
It's so weird because I feel like it's past their time.
See,
like,
it
I don't know
is.
why they're releasing it now.
See, I would too. Like that's where I felt. I was like, why is a Blair
Well-
Witch game coming out now? But like,
It's 20-year anniversary of it.
yeah, it's also been long enough where it's like, huh, okay.
There-
But like the reboot wasn't.
Good.
No,
Well, I mean, came out just like 2 years ago or something like that.
something like that, and it wasn't good. And it's like, now I will give them this, like where the next two movies failed, this could be pretty good.
I think the gameplay, like, I don't even know how you even play this fucking game.
It's
It reminds me a lot of Outlast.
it reminds a lot of Outcast, but I think
Outlast.
It reminds me so much of Outcast.
I actually got an Outcast record yesterday.
Which one?
The Southern Playalistic Cattle.
Oh, their first one.
Their first one, first time on vinyl. So that was pretty sick.
Go check it out. Wenzel's the Outcast rep now.
But it plays like Outlast, but it seems like it has combat. Now, I did see on YouTube there was an actual demo uploaded, and I want to go look at that because I'm very interested in it. Like, even though it's Blair Witch, like, it looks, from the trailer, it looks actually kind of scary.
Comes out on Xbox One and PC on August 30th.
Oh,
wow.
I did
Wow,
not
that's
realize it
really
was.
quick.
I would have thought it was around Halloween. I did not realize it was coming out in 2
so
months.
it is. So it is an exclusive to Xbox.
Sounds like it.
I don't trust Xbox exclusives
at least
anymore.
timed
I feel like they'll
exclusive.
be on everything at some point.
Probably.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff is usually a timed exclusive unless it comes from directly a first party
Yeah.
studio. So
Yeah.
Which I don't think the Blair Witch people are.
I don't think they are either. Then we saw Obsidian's game, The Outer Worlds, which again was apparently a game that impressed a lot of people behind closed doors.
really?
A lot of people, like, I read an article today that said this is the best RPG ever made by somebody not Bethesda.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, fuck.
from what we saw, it was not impressed.
Yeah,
I was
It
not
just
impressed.
looked like a Fallout New Vegas mod, and that was
In space,
all it
yeah.
was in space.
But also, like, you have to realize, like, people still talk about Fallout New Vegas as, like, the pinnacle of the genre.
Which
So,
it was, and Fallout 3 was. So
Well, yeah.
I mean, Fallout 3...
I mean, Fallout 3 was very, 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 very good. But for me personally, Fallout New Vegas always, like, I always go back to Fallout New Vegas, not Fallout 3. Just because, I don't know, like, Fallout 3 was fun and, like, very well done. But it's like, something about Fallout New Vegas, man. I don't know. I guess I just like gambling.
Great.
No, I don't even do that. But, yeah. No, that's interesting because I mean, it just...
And we didn't get a whole lot at the conference. They were just like, here it is. And it got a release date, I believe they said.
it was August or October 22nd.
Yeah, it was sometimes in that
It was soon.
late summer, early fall range.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming out this year, and then they didn't show, like, any game, which I get, because the whole game is, like, it's an RPG, has, like, the branching dialogue and stuff, so maybe that's not something that Microsoft wants to show at their conference. So,
it comes out October 25th.
October 25th, yeah,
was
so
close.
same week as Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hopefully it does well. Like I said, from everything I've heard, it impressed. Like, some people came out of E3 calling it their game of the show. So I'm like, okay,
Wow.
that's cool.
That's low standards.
That's
Well,
like,
well, I mean,
also you didn't
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
it.
we didn't see it.
I know.
But-
It just with all the stuff we've already seen from it, like from past gameplay, from like not even over a year ago, I don't think it just.
Yeah, that's what
I can't see it beating out a lot of the games that were shown.
I mean, again, there's stuff we did not see.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like we saw all these CG trailers, but then like behind closed doors, like so much
Which
actual gameplay,
which is like, why the fuck? Like, why do you show such shitty stuff and just have stuff behind closed? Like really? Like, does everybody in the world need to be there?
it's like now E3 has become this thing. Like the conference itself has become this thing for like stakeholders. Be like, hey, this is what we're showing. Here's our highlight reel. Here it is. It gets people hyped, and then all the people, like all of, like the press people at the show, is like, hey, you want to come play this? And then they play it, and they're like, oh fuck, this is actually good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So
Oh, man. I mean, I respect the privacy, but fuck me.
it just feels weird, especially with this game coming out so soon. Like we saw
Yeah.
CG trailers for games coming out this year, and not even like in December. Like that Blair Witch game comes out in August.
Which makes no sense. It's like, okay, if this is the first time you're seeing, you get it in 2 months. Have fun. I'm like, that seems like like that looks like a pretty big game to just be like.
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda did the same thing. You remember when they unveiled Fallout 4? We got the CG trailer, but then we got like the whole second half of that conference was dedicated to Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They showed gameplay. They showed like this is what we want to do with Fallout 4. These are our expansions we're going to do.
There's this fun trailer as well.
Yeah, there was everything. So like that's, and I get that you can't dedicate a whole, especially for somebody as big as Microsoft that has all this shit under its branch to be like, okay, we're dedicating. I mean, they would probably only ever do that with Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think they would do
They
that.
did it with Halo
Gears.
5 one year, I think.
Yeah, they
yeah.
did a significant portion.
Yeah. I think what they did was they literally showed the first mission.
Yeah,
I think.
I think they did that with 3, 4, and 5. Like I think like at one point during
Oh,
those, because those
and-
when the E3s were on, Halo 3 anyways was when E3 used to come on G4 and Spike.
Yeah.
If y'all remember that.
Yeah. No, they did the same thing with Halo 4 as well. They showed the fourth mission or the first mission because I remember at the very end of it, there was like this huge like like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
like, oh, we don't know, and then it cuts, and everybody just losing their shit. Yeah. Speaking of losing their shit, Elden Ring, which is the new game from FromSoft and George R.R. Martin, which again just got CG from, but
dun,
but that's
dun, dun.
That's expected from FromSoft.
that's the
They do
FromSoft
that
way.
every single time.
And then that game somehow comes out next year.
somehow.
that's how they work.
Yeah,
they
I know.
always do that. They always show the game and then it comes out the next year.
Yeah, I mean they did that with Bloodborne, with Sekiro,
Fuck
with
me.
Dark Souls 3.
I still remember that goddamn 13-second Sekiro trailer,
Yeah.
and it's like
from the Game Awards.
Yeah, and
I
it-
was 100% set on that to Bloodborne too.
Yeah, I
Because
remember that.
it reminded me of a trick weapon, but it wasn't. It was the arm,
Sekiro,
which
good-
the arm is basically a trick weapon.
yeah, also good game.
Really
I'm
good.
willing
Yeah.
to say.
Does Bloodborne take place the same world as Sekiro?
no.
No, but
Completely different.
Wait, does Bloodborne and Dark Souls take place in the same universe though?
No.
So Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro are 3 different universes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there are fun theories about Bloodborne and Dark Souls being connected, but
Yeah.
those are just
They are very fun because
Yeah.
it could be
It
something.
could be.
Yeah. Well, Elden Ring. It's like describe it. I don't even know how to
like
describe it
A
really.
buff man, beautiful hair, beating on a rock.
Thank you.
Yeah.
it's like a Norse RPG from
Yeah.
what we understand.
I think obviously because they have Martin, we are dealing with like some English / Norse lore, Northern European lore, which is something that a lot of people think we think when we think of Northern European, we do think of a lot of times of medieval and fairs and like Dark Souls
Yeah.
fantasy style, but it's a little bit different. It's definitely more sparse, a little bit more barbaric, and
Yeah.
definitely more in the lines of the North and Nordic,
Scandinavian.
and Scandinavian type, especially even in the UK, like the lore surrounding a lot of that can be attributed to that like Norse style.
Yeah,
stuff. And
because
George
they-
R. R. Martin
they travel.
is a would you consider him an expert?
Oh,
I don't know if
I
he-
thought
I
you
don't know
were
if he's an
saying
expert, but he is very well versed in a lot of we always think of him as like fantasy. Well, these fantasy writers as like they're just writing fantasy, but
Yeah.
he pulls a lot of his stuff from Norse lore.
Yeah, like actual lore. Yeah.
Yeah.
From
And
that.
he's
Or
horny.
really mostly from history.
And he's a fan
Yeah,
of the
from-
football
yeah.
team, Vikings.
Yeah. Fucking loves Minnesota. So
Oh.
I'm excited for Elden Ring personally.
Sorry,
fuck yeah.
I was just gonna,
Same.
plan in there. George R. R. Martin. It did say that he works solely on, or specifically on, like the story and like
Yeah.
and the lore itself.
Yeah, I think
So-
I think they called him an executive producer on the game, or maybe an executive consultant, some word like that. It was real weird phrasing for a game, but
Yeah.
that's what he is. So,
Yeah, I mean, and with how good he is at world building, this is going to be very interesting.
yeah, I'm excited, and apparently they've been working on it since Dark Souls 3.
Yeah,
So is what I read.
the thing, world building is one thing, but he's very good at lore building.
Yeah,
Very good at
So-
lore building. I mean, world
And
building.
the
lore
people
building are
behind
kind of-
Dark Souls and Bloodborne, they're also really
Yeah, they're
fucking
also
good.
really good at that shit.
And it's
so.
like it's subtle shit too. So like having this guy and then this guy and
And the fact that they went to him, the fact that they actually went to, they were like, this, even though they've already made fantasy style
Yeah.
games, they were like, let's bring in George R. R. Martin. And I think, of course, it was just for namesake as well. But at the same time, that he's actually contributing and he's not just, slap my name on the bitch sort of
Yeah.
person thing. The fact that he's actually contributing means that we're about to get some really deep shit. Hopefully, that's the hope. And that could be like, I mean, if it's gonna be good.
yeah, I'm very excited for it. Speaking, wait,
wieners.
please, they showed Borderlands 3 here. I mean,
Which is
Oh,
more
yeah.
amazing stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
we-
really excited for Borderlands 3.
I feel like we've seen a lot, but also not a lot of Borderlands. if that
That's
makes
how it's
sense.
always been. with
It's
Borderlands.
always like that with Borderlands. We're like, hey, we're going to show you like 3 hours, 4 hours of gameplay before, but it's still not going to be a lot. I promise.
Yeah, looked really good.
So yeah, Borderlands 3. And then these are kind of like Flash. Shenmue 3 is.
It looks like a Shenmue
It
game.
looks like Shenmue.
exactly like it.
Did they show
the
that off at-
originals.
Did they show
That was at Microsoft and the PC Gaming Show.
Wow, I don't
And,
remember. it.
and at Limited Run Games, because Limited
Yeah.
Run Games is doing the collector's physical edition in the U.S. They're making 5,000 of them. 4,000 will be. Wait, hold on. Shenmue 3 wasn't at Microsoft. Why am I saying it was at Microsoft? It was at PC Gaming Show. And I put. Okay. I copy and pasted wrong. Anyway, Shenmue 3 was at the PC Gaming Show.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Yeah, because it's not even coming out on the Xbox, coming out on PlayStation. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
and it's a timed Epic Game Store
Yeah.
exclusive, which they did not announce.
Yeah, they didn't announce that. So
Because it was literally in the tiny little
Yeah.
little copyright thing or whatever. It was like Epic Game Store.
see, because this year the PC, we'll get to it, but I mention it now since I accidentally mentioned it. The PC Gaming Show was sponsored by Epic Game, the Epic Game Store specifically this year. So they did this like highlight reel of all these games, and they didn't say what the highlight reel was for, but Shenmue 3 was in the highlight reel, and then at the end of the highlight reel, they're like, all these games are Epic Game Store exclusive, and it's just like, what? Which seems really shitty considering Shenmue 3 had to be kickstarted in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like the people who like pre-ordered on Steam, there was like this huge thing where like they wanted refunds.
Yep.
And they were like, we're not giving you refunds.
Yeah, it's something to the extent like this game is not even launching on Steam, so like the PC codes are only good for the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
Which like you know, you can think what you want, but I think that's kind of shitty.
I mean, now,
Especially when your game had to be kickstarted.
yeah. And,
And
it's
then
just,
it still looks the way it does.
yeah, and it's like they're just like, yeah, we're not giving you refunds through Kickstarter. Like, and then if you go to the Steam store, the release date for it says coming soon.
Yeah. So if it's a one, because most of these Epic Game Store exclusive are 12-month deals, so like that will be next November when it comes out on PC, on Steam, and anything else it comes out on. So that seems
There's a
kind of
little-
shitty.
So there's a little controversy for you.
And I usually don't like that. The whole Epic Game Store stuff I think is usually blown out of proportion, anyways. But that seems kind of shitty.
Yeah, because I mean, like, no refunds.
Yeah, no refunds. And again, your game had to be kickstarted. And it's not like these people are acting entitled. They're like, I literally gave you money up front to help this game be made because
Yeah.
I've been waiting on this game for fucking 20 years. So that seems kind of shitty. But speaking of buying stuff, Microsoft acquired Double Fine. And they showed more Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2 looks awesome.
Psychonauts 2
Yeah.
looks really fucking good. Also, would never expected Microsoft to gobble up Double Fine. Just
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a studio Microsoft would really be interested. Like I
Considering
get
Double
Ninja
Fine
Theory.
pumps out a game every 7 years.
Yeah.
A big game.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Costume Quest 2 fans.
Fuck, and we still haven't gotten a release date.
Yeah, they haven't even got a release year.
No.
So I'm like, it's gonna be interesting because like we're seeing Microsoft acquire all these new studios in prep for next gen, and it's like, what does Double Fine got cooking up? What is
Psychonauts 3, baby.
Psychonauts
No,
3?
what if we are in next gen? They finally fucking release it, like completely skipped over this gen. Just
No, that's
goes.
probably what's going to happen.
That's probably what's gonna happen. That's kind of annoying.
I think
That's kind of
Psychonauts
annoying.
2 will come out on PS4 and Xbox One. Just because
I don't
it's been
believe you.
Just because it's been in development so long, like there's no way, you know, Tim Schafer has had a dev kit 3 years before dev kits even got. So this game is probably coming out on PS4 and Xbox One X or Xbox One. Will it also come to PS5 and Scarlet? Probably.
I think it will release on the cusp, or like right there at the edge of getting PlayStation 5 and Scarlet.
Yeah.
So like, which was what? Probably.
Probably be November.
So,
So- I could see
Right.
Psychonauts 2 coming out next summer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me right here, 2020 summer.
Okay.
That was brave of you, Wenzel.
Thank
Also,
you.
speaking of, you know, things that Microsoft has acquired, Bleeding Edge, which is that 4v4 game made by Ninja Theory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look kind of cool.
Look kind of cool.
Like-
Cool, but I'll be honest with you, I don't care about online games.
Yeah, I don't
care.
I don't
about
want to
them.
buy it, but like if I had oh my god, I'm blanking. Game Pass.
yeah.
If I had Game Pass, like because it's coming to Game Pass day one, I'm like, oh, I'll try that.
yeah.
Which is, and like that's also like a big message of Microsoft's conference this year was like, hey, a lot of these games coming to Game Pass day one.
Oh yeah, that was really fucking good of them to do.
It feels like Microsoft is gearing up with all these new game companies to become a game company.
Yeah.
Like in less of, I mean, yeah, obviously they're gonna be a game console company, and of course they technically are a game company, but like it seems like they're gearing up to just publish games.
They want to be a service.
They want to be. They just want to be. They want to be a good service, and that's. You have to have a bunch of people like in your wheelhouse in order for you to be able to pump out games for your new service, and
Yep.
that's kind of what they're doing. They're you
Yep.
know, and their new service, I have no complaints with what they've got going on.
No,
No.
not at all.
It's great.
And like,
It's priced well. It's multi-platform.
Yep.
It's especially with that new $15. Was it $15 a month?
No, no,
$14.99 a month for the Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's with live. That's with everything,
Yeah.
and like that's not a bad deal. If I was someone who, is really that is the Netflix of video games.
Yeah.
and they've kind of streamlined it and they've kind of cemented it. That's not that's something that I'm excited for a little bit for people who not necessarily can go spend $60 every month big,
Or 2 weeks.
Yeah, when-
especially during the holidays.
I mean, the price of at $10 a month is equal to
Two games a year.
2 AAAs.
I just
you
don't
get-
know how they profit from that because they're gonna be.
I mean,
releasing a lot.
you have to think they have all these partnerships, and also Microsoft is a multi-fucking-billion-dollar company.
Yeah,
So
but
like,
that's why would they do this?
I don't know. I don't.
I mean, they're making money somewhere. I mean, they're still showing profits.
Have you
so.
heard of this thing called being nice?
but
I don't think they want to be.
but you think how
Call
much-
billion-dollar companies are your friend, and I will not hear different.
Well, think about it for a second. You literally cut out the middleman. You cut out this central part that's so
taking out
expensive.
GameStop.
Well,
I mean,
kind of.
You cut out the retailer. You cut out the production company who has to stamp and create the disc, which doesn't cost a whole lot on the surface level. But at the end of the day, it costs a whole lot. If you have it on multi-platform systems, you have on your Xbox, whatever. You can make game consoles cheaper as well, because with these types of services, because you're able to kind of circumvent those costs through like the cost of the console through by paying a service. I don't know, like. There's a lot of moving parts that get cut out whenever you are having direct access to video games, and those savings kind of get put over to the player. About $120 a year, that's the price of 2 AAAs. There's Halo, there's Gears right there, right there in your little box.
I mean, yeah.
And then, but you get a lot of games.
Indie games, multi-platform, every first-party game.
like, yeah,
So-
you get the entire
Xbox Live.
You get the entire you get the Master Chief Collection. That's
Yeah.
all the Halo games,
Yeah.
including the new ones.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like a no. And Phil Spencer, during the Giant Bomb at Night
Chubby.
segment, was talking about he was talking about Project xCloud, and he was like, look, xCloud's not. He was like, cloud streaming. A lot of people are doing a lot of cool things with cloud like gaming right now, but cloud gaming is not going to take over the industry in 2 or 3 years like a lot of people think. This is a process. Right now, the technology is not there for cloud gaming to just completely devour the physical market. He's like, I want it there as an accessory to the physical market. I want it like. He was like, Project xCloud to me is for when I'm playing Halo at home and then I have to get on the road and then want to continue playing Halo. Now, we're not doing 100. He was like, we're not doing we're not promising 8K 120 FPS on your phone, but is it going to be playable? Yeah, it's going to be playable. But is it going to be the best way? No, the best way to play your game is on your PC, on your Scarlett, on your Xbox One X. So I appreciated like that level of
direct honesty
of
the
honesty.
situation.
Yeah. So.
And that's the big thing. And moving on to into the future is that one of the big things that they talked about was how your xCloud is going your home console will be a server for xCloud.
Yep.
Meaning you're taking a shit and you want to continue playing fucking Gears 20 or whatever the
I don't
fuck's
know how
out.
people do that. I don't know. I don't like having the shit dried in my butthole and it's harder to wipe. Am I wrong? No one else agree? Everybody else like dried shit on their butts.
I mean, no, I've just never heard it put into those kind of terms.
When I go shit, and I'm like, okay, gotta go fast. Go, wipe now. Because I don't like
There's
dry
45
shit.
seconds till the next game starts.
I don't know if you heard this, but Clorox wipes.
I don't think you're supposed to use Clorox on
I
your
know that
butt.
was the joke.
No, if you ain't using bleach on your asshole, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wenzel.
But no, that's actually really cool because that means that your system itself, is going to be a server for your games, meaning that your whole house becomes playable.
Yep.
You can play anywhere in your home.
Yep. On any device.
On any device, and not having to worry about your connection to the outside world. And that's as such a game, like not say game changing, but it is such a
It is. I mean, eventually it will be.
I mean, but the thing, we talked about Steam Link has been doing something similar.
Yeah.
But that's with a singular device. But I don't know. It's just I like it. I like that idea. I like the fact that they're doing it in addition to rather than a full on. Here you go. Here's your stuff.
And like people were so surprised because Phil Spencer was like, "Yeah, the Scarlet's going to have a disc tray," and people were like, "Whoa." He's like, "Yeah, we're not stopping making physical games." What?
Yeah.
He was like, "That wouldn't make any sense."
Which I mean, that probably to the people like with the most recent Xbox that came out, where it's just
the box.
Which I mean, I guess a surprise, but then again, it's like I don't know, they wouldn't stop that. Yeah.
Yeah, like why would you stop? Physical games is still the largest percentage of your market share. I don't know. It's not like you're selling more digital than your physical. I don't know. It didn't make sense
Again,
to me.
it's not gonna Sorry, I just had something funny that just happened today. My two nephews were at my house, and
They created cloud gaming.
no, but Baron talked to Alexa, and he was like, "Alexa, play Uptown Funk." Uptown Funk started fucking playing, and then he started taking off his shirt and his socks, and it was just I don't know,
And you're thinking of Phil Spencer doing that too?
No, it was just in my mind because I'm like, why did he do that? And then my other nephew Landry walks over, and for some reason he's scared of me. I don't know why, but like he walks over and then he looks at me, smiles, and then he just like it runs away.
Great.
Sorry, it just stuck in my mind. It was really funny.
112 episodes into this podcast, and Wenzel still knows how to tell a hell of a story.
Oh wait, okay,
Wenzel's
sorry.
Wenzel's copyrighted non sequiturs.
Okay, but sorry, another story. Did I talk about Gabby? Like, did everybody see the picture I posted on Twitter?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it.
God, it was so. No, let me explain. Let me go. It was literally like 12 in the afternoon, and I walk in there, and Gabby just looks up at me with her eyes fucking closed, and then she just falls back and just dead.
So she didn't look at you.
No, but like she looked like I know I was weird when I was phrasing that. I was like, how do I phrase that? Because she didn't look at me, but like she lifted her head and she heard me. Like she stared at me with her eyes closed. I love my dog.
Speaking of Gabby, Project Scarlet.
We're just gonna skip Dying Light 2.
Oh fuck yeah, you're right. Okay, Dying Light 2
looks fucking awesome.
It looks cool. They didn't show gameplay though. They showed
They
just this
showed a
CG.
little bit.
We saw gameplay last year,
No,
didn't we?
Square Enix.
we did. What?
They showed it at Square Enix. I swear to God, they showed it at Square Enix.
I think Colt's right.
Yeah, I don't
know.
remember them showing gameplay though. Anyway,
They did. It was them running the parkour. That was gameplay, jumping through windows and whatnot.
Yeah.
And plus, we
Oh,
saw
yeah, I
it last
guess
year
that
where it
was.
says you make a decision. Do you
Yeah.
want to kill or do you want to do something?
Yeah, that was
else?
weird. They showed a lot more gameplay
I remember
last
that. I don't know if that was at Square Enix.
year. No, that demo he's talking about was at Microsoft
Last year.
Yeah.
This year, they showed Square Enix stuff. I know they did.
No,
they had to.
I think he's right.
I don't.
And it was playing the Metric song. That was, I don't know if that was Microsoft or Square Enix, that one. But Square Enix does, because they published Dying Light.
Yeah, that's the weird thing too. Is now we're getting like different demos and trailers at different conferences. Like last year, that when they were showing Kingdom Hearts 3, they showed Kingdom Hearts 3 different trailers at 3 different conferences, and for some reason, none of them had game audio. It was weird. But I do want to talk about Scarlet because we did not actually see the physical box. They were just, it was a bunch of gaming dev people was like, yeah, ray tracing. Oh yeah, 8K, 120 FPS. It was like a bunch
of buzzwords.
a bunch of buzzwords. Like if you were playing a drinking game, you would have got fucked up just during this 3-minute
But
segment.
the things that they showed were actually hella important.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and then everyone looks like semi-normal, and then there's that guy with like the 8-foot-long goatee.
Oh my god, it looked like the beard was stapled on to his chin.
It didn't.
It honestly looked like Spanish moss.
Yeah, it looked like it was hanging on by like 3 singular pieces of hair.
It really did. So Project Scarlet. It's interesting because, again, we're in this world where gaming PCs are, everyone's, all the console people are like, we've got the best gaming experience out there. 60 FPS, 4K gaming consoles. And then you have everyone in the PC world who plays in the PC world who's kind of like, okay, we've got 140 FPS regular basis. And yeah, my system costs $1,000, but it can definitely run this game much better than your consoles. And then the consoles are like, oh god, yeah, but like, So I think one of the more important things that need to be that's kind of being highlighted here is why do consoles still exist and versus PCs? Why doesn't everybody have a PC? And that just comes down to accessibility and price point. Not everyone has $1,000 to spend on a console. Not everybody should spend $1,000 on a PC or whatever. So a console that's sub $400 is a great deal, and I think it's very important. And also, consoles set the beat for game development and publishing.
Yep.
That's just it. That they set the beat, they set the tone, they set the metronome for everything that comes out. So, and PC gaming is still a very niche market and difficult market to get into, especially because who the fuck knows how to build a PC, right?
Winslow's just shaking his head no.
No one knows.
So,
I
so
don't.
there is a difficulty there to get into, and it's simplified and streamlined and things like that. So Scarlett itself is very interesting because they've kind of highlighted a few things here. For one, they highlighted their GPU doing ray tracing, and they also highlighted the SSD. The SSD is something that's very, very important for gaming. If anybody who's ever switched from a regular hard drive, a spinning disk hard drive, which is in every single console that we have right now,
Yeah.
I think except for the Switch. I think Switch uses NAND flash, maybe.
Of course, I know that.
Anyways,
Yes.
so that's going to make the game system hella flash. Hella fast.
Why are you adopting this word now?
Cody,
why are you keep
Cody's
saying
from
hella?
the West Coast.
He's
Yeah,
never
hella.
said this
Hella?
before.
Hella,
Okay,
dude.
but fucking Tanner says clout, and he's been saying.
Hold
yes.
on, I say clout as a bit, and also reading in my marketing textbook, clout's like a word, like used
It's
in
cloud
marketing.
typo.
No, it's literally they use clout as like the way people use like, oh, you have Twitter clout. That's how clout is used in marketing, except it's spelled with a K.
But no.
It was
It's
weird.
German.
But
It
that's
it threw me off.
That's not the same thing. And then every time you end your sentence, you say, "Yeah," like you're like, "Yeah, you're gonna go down to the market, yeah."
What?
What? Do
I don't notice that.
Yes, he does do it in the messages. He says, "Yeah," at the end with a question
I've
mark.
never seen the "yeah" in the messages.
What?
I don't know. I see him put
I
"lol" a lot.
I literally called him out on it. I was like, "You know what you did, Tanner." He does it in his tweet.
He might have done it once, but I don't know what the hell
No,
you're talking
he does
about.
it all the time. Fuck you.
Okay. Project Scarlet.
No. We gotta talk about Tanner's weird text idiosyncrasy.
Tanner's trying to look, I think.
He's deleting them.
No, I'm gonna look. You keep talking about Scarlet.
So yeah, Project Scarlet, that SSD is basically going to make everything pretty much instant. Any game that's loaded onto the SSD is going to be instant. But they're also talking about using some part of the SSD as virtual RAM, which basically allows for, let's say, a game like for, I don't know what they would use it for. Honestly, I guess they would be able to kind of pass things off to the SSD and make it everything faster and smoother, which is going to allow for 120 FPS and things like that. But the more important thing was the ray tracing. Ray tracing is this technology that's been used in movies and television shows for CGI renders for decades now, but it's hella intensive. Whereas 10 years ago, it could take about a week or so to render something, a single I don't. I don't know what just happened. We just heard a little noise in the feed. But go ahead, Tanner.
So I've used question mark 4 times since May 16th, 2017.
Too many fucking times. And are those just your tweets?
Yeah.
Okay, but in the messages you said it quite a bit.
I have no recollection. Okay.
Anywho, so that ray tracing is where it gets really interesting, is because currently right now NVIDIA released their graphics card with ray tracing in it, kind of like hardware accelerated ray tracing, where
And isn't it expensive as shit?
it's about $1,000 plus,
Yeah.
I think.
It was funny. Cody looked at Wenzel for reassurance. It's like $1,000,
Yeah.
right?
And then I just widened my eyes.
They're calling it I think it's RTX or something like that. Well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but AMD had their conference also during E3 that they where they released their Navi systems, which were their
It's Navi.
NAVI. I don't know why. They basically came out and said they basically came out and said fuck. Like they were just like they said they dropped the F-bomb because Nvidia released their cards about 3 or 4 months ago with this ray tracing ability. Ray tracing is they literally, I think my understanding is light. Let's say you have in a scene, you have a light source and you have an object like a ball. Okay, light hits the ball, the light just kind of shows, the camera picks up whatever the light shows. What ray tracing does, it's able to calculate the material that the object is made of. Like if a ball is made out of reptile skin versus glass, it would reflect differently.
I don't know why you'd want either of those.
Well, what it does is the camera will actually actually works in reverse, where when the light hits the camera, engine camera, it will record that, calculate the light path, how the light kind of affects. There has to be a whole physics engine built into the GPU's brain, all this other bullshit. And that's what ray tracing is able to make things look like real life, like actual real life. And if you look at different things, depending on like ray tracing, there was a big meme going around like without RTX versus with RTX or whatever it was. And AMD doesn't have that in their newest GPU. So they came out and said, we'll have that in a later update, but there won't be hardware accelerated hardware accelerated ray tracing until the second generation of GPUs. Mm-hmm. So I can't talk for this long. So this is where Project Scarlet comes in. Scarlet says that they'll be using the AMD Navi, its core processor, but like a specialized processor with ray tracing in it. So the question now is, are they getting second gen with hardware accelerated ray tracing, or are they getting kind of the software backdoor ray tracing that's kind of like ray tracing light? Like which one? Because apparently the PS5 is rumored, or at least either rumored or confirmed to be using Navi. I can't remember. And we know Xbox is confirmed to be using Navi. Mm-hmm. So so the big question now is, with it coming out in
they said holiday 2020.
Does that mean we're getting the actual hardware accelerated Navi, or are we getting some backdoor version of ray tracing that's just sort of,
or are we getting like this weird like in the middle one that like Microsoft is having specially made for Scarlet?
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is that like I guess the thing that gets me is that Scarlet has been in production for a while now.
Yeah.
And AMD kind of came out and was like, yeah, we don't have it in first gen technically, but we technically have tricks to make it kind of work.
Kind of do it, yeah.
And that's what's kind of confusing me, is to say like, okay, well, why are they just now thinking about this? And, or maybe, to me, that shows that ray tracing, which I think is going to be one of the more important aspects of the next graphical, it's going to be the next graphical leap, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And one of the big, 8K, sure. Once you go above 4K, you're kind of pushing the limits of any software that we have, or not software,
the
but hardware.
human fucking eye.
It looks good, but 4K is even overdoing it in a lot of aspects. But there's something interesting to say about ray tracing, because it makes the graphics themselves look different, and that's what kind of I'm very interested to see what they do with that, because right now you can get ray tracing in PC games. If they're able to do ray tracing, have 120 frames per second, and all that, that means that you'll have games that are catering to that ray tracing, and that makes ray tracing the next generation's graphical kind of Achilles. Again, not Achilles heel, but strong point. Yeah, I don't really know. So
the
I'll be
opposite
honest
of an
with you,
Achilles.
Eyes glazed over hard during all that.
It's a lot of technical talk, but like I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Like the thing that scares me is like that all sounds really nice. How much is this thing going to cost? Like, can you keep something like this at $399? Like, I don't think so.
Well, the Navi GPUs themselves that they just released are well priced, as in like most people, especially, and I don't know if I can't remember what they said what the processor was going to be. Like the most important parts are going to be your GPU and your hard drive / RAM, and your RAM. They're doing I think they're doing GDDR6 RAM, which is going to be super fast. I guarantee you'll have about 16 gigs of it in there, at the very least. You're going to deal with, I mean, like, you have that SSD. SSD is going to be game breaking. I mean, it's going to be game changing. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that, like, you can literally click a button and your game will be up in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, they talked about that.
Yeah, like that's what's that's, and then I know the PlayStation is playing around with a weird hybrid, which has been done before as well.
We've actually seen a demo of the PlayStation 5 in action. They were using Spider-Man as like an example of that for like load times and
It
shit.
was seamless.
Yeah.
Where on the PS4 it was like go, pause, go, pause, go, pause. It was just straight
It
go.
was like seamless, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to change the way the data retrieval is very important, but also that ray tracing I think is very important. And the price wise, the new Navi, of course, AMD is going to be cheaper than Nvidia any day. But the other thing is the GPU or the CPU. I mean. And I know that most people are starting to move away from AMD, and not AMD, but Intel and NVIDIA, and moving more towards AMD. And that could be a telltale sign. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens with all that, especially on the tech side of things, because
It seems like there's only so good they can get until they're the exact same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what is gonna like at some point it's just gonna be about the games.
Yeah, like what differentiates you from this
Yeah.
other company? And it's just like,
Because we saw it this gen when the Xbox One came out. The Xbox One couldn't do 60 FPS 1080. It was doing 60 FPS 900, and the PS4 could do 60 FPS 1080. It doesn't seem like, which is crazy to think how in 7 years we're going from, oh, this console can't do 1080 60 FPS to now they're like 8K 120 FPS.
because they
It's like-
knew where they fucked up.
well, I mean, yeah, but I mean that just shows like, I mean, hell, you can look at the PS3 and stuff. That stuff was only doing 720. So in like 10 years, we have like fucking 8 times the resolution we can look at it and quadrupled the FPS these consoles can handle. So, and just the last 2 gens. So I'm really interested in that aspect of it because I feel like the PS3 especially left a lot of sour taste in people's mouths where you cannot release a console for $599.99. I feel I realize you can, but it just does not seem smart now. Like, but I don't know because I don't see the play like in my head. Both of these consoles are launching for $499.99.
Yeah.
I don't think they can make them for a cent cheaper than that. But maybe there's something that we don't know about. Like maybe the Scarlett comes with that brand new fancy Elite controller, so that's how they justify $599.99 because that new Elite controller is $200
Which is
in
stupid.
itself. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm really next E3 on that front going to be real fucking interesting because if Sony decides to come back, which I think they actually will.
They
they
have
have
to.
to.
Because they're just sleeping right now.
yeah, like if they skip 2 E3s, that's bad.
If they
And
skip-
they skipped fucking PlayStation Experience.
and they didn't do PSX, so yeah, it's a whole big bag of weird right now. But last thing for Microsoft's conference, this is how loaded Microsoft. Like we've only talked about Microsoft so far. Like wow.
we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep.
Halo Infinite.
Like
Man.
I've been wanting to go back and play them because I've played them, but I haven't really paid attention to the story. Story in this one, from what I've seen, it seems like it's more emotional.
Well, it's,
'Cause of
no, if you played the original,
I
Halo,
just said I haven't.
Yeah,
I know.
but at least all the ones I've played, which I've played, never played Halo 1. Sorry, but I've played 2 through 5. They're all like pretty emotional, especially like Halo 3. Like fuck that ending. But this Halo Infinite now, because we have heard like, oh, they're doing a soft reboot. Well, this isn't a reboot.
This is like
This is like alternate history Halo.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if it's supposed to be alternate history after 3, after 4, or after 5.
I don't know because like when we saw the first trailer or teaser, it was like it looked like Halo 1.
It looked like Halo 1,
but
exactly.
like his armor was just his armor that he gets in Halo 2 and carries on to Halo 3, and it's like it's like okay, like soft reboot, kind of like God of War.
Yep.
But no, this is like you're taking the game into a completely different direction.
Yep.
Like it's just like a complete reboot of the series at this point.
Like even the HUD looks all different.
Yeah,
It's-
I mean, because like what happens in the trailer is there's a guy who's been stuck in space forever,
an undisclosed amount of time.
and he ends up finding Master Chief in space, which that's something that's never like. I mean, Master Chief has been stranded in space. It happened at the end of Halo 3, when the forward onto Dawn gets cut in half and he's in cryostasis.
Yep.
But like this, he was just floating. And something that the Spartan suits do is that they go into like this mode where like they put the Spartan to sleep, and it's like for safety and stuff. So he gets him, essentially revives him, and then at some point the guy's like, we lost, and then they show the fucking Halo ring and it's like destroyed, and it's like, what the fuck happened? Like I mean, you know, humanity was always close to losing, but there's never a moment where
They
like,
never lost.
yeah, like I mean, you know, they lost tons of battles, but
Yeah.
but like there were some victories and they won, but like
This seems like an alternate history where the bad guys won.
which is like how does it happen? Because if they activated the Halo rings, then everybody should be dead.
Yep.
So-
it's and we didn't see any game. We did get confirmed it's coming out day and date with Project Scarlet, which I think is fucking genius. I think that is a super smart move, especially after how well Breath of the Wild did with the Switch. I think that should be how every game launch goes now. Is like you should have a huge first party game launched with your console. It just makes sense.
It does. It
Like
does.
we didn't get it with the Xbox One or the PS4. We didn't really get it with the 360 and PS. Like we hadn't gotten it in a long time.
Yeah.
Like since like 3-4 gens back. So now that that's like coming back, that's smart. And like a game like Halo Infinite, where it's like, hey, you know, we've kind of messed up with a few of the Halos recently. It's like Halo 5, you know, wasn't received great.
bad.
Halo 4 was pretty sparse.
yeah.
It was like you know, obviously that teams transitioning. You know, you go from Bungie to 343, stuff like that. And like this seems like from everything I've heard, and the CG stuff we've seen, but the way they seem to be going with the story direction, it seems like they're on the right track to deliver another great Halo experience. And I tell you what, if and I get it's coming out on Xbox One too, but if the PS5 doesn't like come with like a huge day one game, like what's gonna stop me from getting a Scarlet and Halo?
Yeah.
Because I want to play Halo the best I can play Halo. I don't want to play Halo on my 6-year-old Xbox One. I want to play it on this brand new shiny toy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited for
Yeah,
it.
no, I definitely if this comes out like if when it comes out, like I definitely want to pick it up with the new console.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but I guess we'll see. You know, Sony can always be like, "Hey, guess what? Boom, Ghost of Tsushima or something." And I don't know. I'd be
Or
real.
an Infamous. If they dropped an Infamous,
New Infamous would be good, or hell, Last of Us 2, which apparently Last of Us 2 is like allegedly coming out in February, but I don't know.
I can
Bunch
see
of
it.
rumors right now. So that's Microsoft in a nutshell. Literally talked about them almost as long as their actual conference was.
Not bad. It's just
I think they had a strong conference, but
They
it's
had a
sort of like the same thing last year. They showed a lot of games. Now you got to deliver.
yeah,
it was mostly CG though.
Yeah.
It was mostly CG, which that's for most of the conferences, but yeah, it was mostly CG. They brought in games that again, Crossfire X, it's like that's a very niche market that's like
Well, I don't know if it's a niche market considering that game's played by like 500 million people.
well, I mean
But-
niche in the sense that like the Western audience
Yeah.
doesn't know this, and this game
Yeah.
hasn't been out since the early 2000s.
But it's another one of those things where they're like showing stakeholders just like, hey, if we can get a foothold in China with this and like look at all the data that from this series, like this developer has done in China, is like if we can get even like 10% of that, then we're golden.
Yeah, I get that, but the thing is like the way like Phil markets it, it's like PC Legend that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves. And then also they showed the fucking Gears Funko Pop game.
Oh yeah, Gears Pop, baby. My game of the show, personally.
Fuck.
Spoilers. So I guess we can move on to Bethesda. But again, a lot of these conferences don't have near as
Yeah.
much as Microsoft, so we're not going to be talking an hour about Bethesda. They're fixing Fallout 76.
Which legit makes me want to go back and play it some more. Like, I played a good bit. I hit level 20 out of I don't know how many levels. But I just stopped playing because it was so fucking broken. I couldn't even do a lot of the quests because the quests were bugged.
I mean, it was interesting because there's also controversy with Bethesda how like there's supposedly like paid people
Yeah.
sit in or
which
like
I don't think that's the
with-
case.
maybe
Even if it is, I mean, who cares? Like
Yeah.
that doesn't hurt me. Like, hey, all these I don't think the controversy was so much are they paid audience members. I think the controversy was so more as are these Bethesda developers at the conference.
Oh yeah. My bad.
It was more of that, which I'm like, okay, these people were excited about seeing their game. I have zero qualms with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I understand is like a lot of people. Well, people at the conference I guess liked it, but a lot of people outside of that didn't really care for Fallout 76 getting that update. And I'm like, why not? Like, I mean, I know NPCs should have been there in the first place, but it's like they said like this is the very beginning of the vault's opening.
Yeah.
There won't be.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Was it stupid? Yes, but
Yeah.
it made sense.
And like, I mean, anybody could have guessed though that they're gonna release NPCs through updates. I mean, we even said that. So it's
we
like,
said that last year.
yeah. So it's not surprising, and it's kind of cool. And then the battle royale thing was not too bad.
It's the smartest reasoning there has been a battle royale game or mode in a game, because they're like fighting for hierarchy in this new vault. It actually makes sense. It's like if you win, you're the seer of this new vault. It makes sense. And also, it's free. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Like if Bethesda was getting out there and was like, "Hey, this new update that adds stuff people wanted in the game from day one is $25," that'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of shitty."
Yeah.
It's a free update.
This is free, like-
you can buy Fallout 76 now for like under $20.
You can
I
get it
think.
for $5
And-
at
yeah.
fucking
and, like,
Best Buy or
so, like,
something.
What's there to complain?
Yeah.
There
so.
really isn't.
I don't see an issue. They're fixing again, and like Todd Howard could sell me anything in the fucking world, frankly. And Todd goes up there and he's like, "Hey guys, we know we fucked up with this. Whoops, our bad. Here's a bunch of stuff."
Yeah.
And they're fixing. They're not abandoning it, which
No,
I
that's just good.
yeah, which is good. I don't know why. Like,
Stick to your guns.
yeah, whatever. Also, speaking of guns, this has nothing to do with guns. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yes.
Again,
yes,
another
yes.
great E3 moment. Akumi getting up there, doing those stances, lovely.
And just talking about like this game is scary and like truly in love with her game, and she's spooky.
Yeah.
She was like, and this is the game. Here you go. CG trailer. So I think the game is probably a couple of years away still. Probably 2 years away. But
That CG trailer was probably my favorite CG trailer we
it
saw.
sold me on the game.
Yeah.
Like unless it's from the Evil Within people, so like there's a track record there at least.
And imagine just now walking through the streets of Tokyo as a spirit detective or whatever the fuck you're
I
gonna
don't
be.
think
Yeah,
it's
whatever you be.
detective.
It's like, oh man, I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I don't know either. There was a dog.
yeah,
There was a dog.
What,
Can confirm.
What was the thing they said? Like, don't fear the unknown, attack it or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. So it was, purposely incredibly vague.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you like a spiritual detective? Are you like a spiritual, like a ghost hunter sort of deal? Like I don't know.
I don't know. Like maybe you are a yokai hunter or
Yeah.
something like that. And
Which
it's
would
like-
be awesome.
Yeah, it takes place in like a Neo Tokyo type setting,
Yeah.
which is awesome too. Like, yeah, no, I'm very excited for it. Another great E3 moment.
Yeah, that was awesome. I know Wenzel especially will be excited about this Rage 2 expansion stuff.
What's
So,
No, recently I platinum Rage and I completed everything on the map. So I mean, even with this, I am actually really excited for it. I want to play it. I need to. I don't think I got the season pass, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up to check that out. I really like what they showed.
they showed Wolfenstein Youngblood again,
Which
which
still looks
fucking
awesome.
good.
looks awesome. That's next month too.
Yeah,
that's at
we
the end of
gotta-
July. So
we gotta lock that down.
Somebody wants to hook me up with that buddy pass. Just
$10 from three
Yeah.
people.
Just
Yeah.
looks pretty good. Yeah, and it's not a full price. It's $29.99. It's not a full price, which cool. Doom Eternal, which
Doom is
Yeah.
wow. It's fucking hard.
And-
like the music is back and it's better. It's good as it's ever been.
coming out in November.
November is just going to be stacked.
No, yeah, November is stacked, and so apparently Google was demoing Doom, or maybe it was Bethesda actually at E3, was demoing Doom Eternal on Stadia, and they were like, "Hey, it's Doom,
Yeah.
like it runs perfect," which is kind of like a good for Stadia. They were like, "Hey, it runs and it runs really well." So I don't. That could be something interesting we see, at the latter end of the year where Doom Eternal, well, I guess will launch on Stadia. If Stadia's coming out in September, and then you have Doom Eternal coming out in November, I would assume it launches on Stadia. So we'll see. But yeah, super. And also the best collector's edition they showed, because you get the fucking Doom Guy helmet
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can wear it. I don't think I could probably fit it around my big ass head, but
Well, hopefully it's not cheaply made
Yeah.
because I don't know. They could always cheap out.
I
on
saw
it.
some close-up pictures of it, and it doesn't look that way.
The close-up pictures. It looks really good, but that's the thing is that's what they brought to the show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just one
exactly,
helmet. Yeah.
exactly.
So like mass producing this thing for the collector's edition, like it could just be like they cheap out and it's like, huh?
Yeah.
And
It's a nylon bag they just put over.
That's
your
kind
head.
of like, was it Halo 3 that came with the
Master
Master
Chief
Chief
head?
helmet, but then it only fit on like people's cats?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, Cole brought up when Fallout 76 had their collector's edition, you got a bag. And it was just nylon, like a very cheaply made nylon bag.
and it was supposed to be burlap, I believe, maybe.
I don't know. And then when people were sending emails like, "Hey, like we got this instead," and they're like, "Yeah,
We
we're not-
ran out of shit.
and we're not going to do anything about it."
But
Yep.
that's the only really.
But they
time
actually-
Bethesda's really fucked up.
They
on
did
the
actually end up
collectors.
sending out burlap, because I saw on,
Oh,
on
really?
Twitter the other day that somebody had finally gotten their burlap bag after, 7 months? So, yeah. And then they also showed Deathloop, which...
It looks awesome. It's made by the same people who made Dishonored.
Yeah,
So that game looked really cool. Again,
a CG trailer.
a CG trailer,
Yeah.
which is like the big thing about this year's E3. It's just so much CG. Like you can tell this E3 is very much like, hey guys, we're gearing up for next new consoles. We can't show much gameplay because we're not allowed to show a lot of gameplay yet. So I get it to an extent, but
But
like
it's like, come on,
like-
you're busting my balls.
yeah, you're really dicking me over here.
Sorry, I was just gonna chime in. Pete Hines moment. Like the rest of you, we love mobile games.
Oh yeah,
Fuck me, like
that was good.
what?
That was good. Just like everyone in this room, we love mobile games. And it's like, okay, like I don't know if you're reading your audience well, but go at it, bud. Say that, and then Fallout Shelter is still like one of the most downloaded mobile
It's a
games.
free game.
ever. It's true, but
And I hear
Still.
what is it, Blades or whatever, Elder Scrolls Blades is doing okay.
yeah,
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not
I
a bad game. I played a little bit of it. It's kind of fun.
yeah, and it's coming to Switch for
There you
free.
go. Yeah.
and it's cross save between your phone and the Switch,
Which is awesome.
Which
I
is
want more of that.
really cool. Devolver had their regular thing. It was fucking
was
batshit.
crazy. I
But
loved it.
they showed two things that I was really interested in. They showed Fall Guys, which is like that mini game battle royale,
Which is Mario Party Battle
Yeah, it's
Royale.
Mario Party Battle Royale, which looks awesome. And they showed a game called Carry On.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Carrion.
I am
maybe.
so
No.
excited for Carrion.
No, it's carry. You can it's carry on.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I
Yeah.
pronounced it both ways.
It looks awesome.
It looks
Yeah.
awesome because you actually play as like the infection killer virus.
It's like a reverse horror game.
Yeah,
I think.
that's literally how they described it, was reverse horror. So like I saw that and I was like, shit, that looks good.
Yeah, you have to increase your biomass pretty much.
Yep. So I was really excited for that. So that was Sunday. Coming to Monday, PC gaming show. No, one of my favorite parts of the PC gaming show. I didn't write this down.
You missed one thing from Devolver.
What did I miss from
They're
Devolver?
fake games. They're
Oh yeah,
Is it Devolver Bootleg?
Devolver Bootleg, where it's like 8 of their games but fake. Available on Steam, but it's like a launcher, and it's like, but you can play their bootleg version of their games.
Yeah, it's like
and
there's-
it's real.
and
yeah,
it's real.
It's
yeah,
real. There's Hotline Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Enter the Gun Dungeon, not
Yeah.
Gungeon. Oh man, what were other ones?
and they're releasing a Enter the Gungeon arcade machine.
oh yeah.
yeah.
And Ape Out Junior. So
Yeah, Ape Out Junior. So that's just something weird that Devolver does. That's like last year where they released a cryptocurrency, but it was like for real.
Yeah.
Like people could buy like these physical coins, and like the price changed every hour. That was good shit. But yeah, so Devolver, a great conference as always. Very excited.
no
Look-
Hotline Miami 3, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but maybe next year, since apparently they're doing a reboot of their conference lore, and now it's like Terminator.
Oh shit! I forgot. Terminator's in Gears 5.
Oh yeah,
everything.
Terminator's in Gears 5. What was the other game Terminator's in?
I don't fucking
It's
remember.
Gears 5. Terminator was in this Devolver thing. There was some other game.
Terminator was in like another actual game. I don't remember what game. Oh, it was a Ubisoft game. Oh, was it Ghost Recon?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, maybe it was Ghost
I think
Recon.
it was.
Was it like teased like da 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 da?
No, it like showed.
That's Battlefield.
No, that's
Oh, Terminator Battlefield themes. I don't
Very
know.
similar.
Very similar. Nobody said it. I'll say it today.
I don't know.
Thank you, Wenzel. PC Gaming Show. I have a couple of games listed from the PC Gaming Show, but my favorite moment at the PC Gaming Show was when the guy from Samsung went up there and was talking about his monitor. It was a 23 or 27 inch curved monitor. He's like, it's super cheaply priced, $399. And then the guy hosting goes, and he's like, what's the resolution? I expect 60 FPS, 4K. He's like, oh, it's not 4K. And like the whole air in the room left. He's just like, we can't make a monitor that cheap with 4K. So
And no one clapped.
no one
None.
clapped. He just walked off the stage. It was like
It was fun.
it was like I don't know if there's any E3 2019 cringe compilations out there yet, but if there is,
That's one of the big pieces.
that's probably the cringiest thing.
Yeah.
Cringiest thing I saw all of E3 because it was just like, oh yeah, we can't make a monitor that cheap that supports 4K, and like literally you could hear like a. it was bad.
PC Gaming Show in general was actually really
It was
good.
pretty good. They showed that game Valvaris, which is like the heavy metal, like Castlevania sort of deal. It was like
huge
a,
fucking gun.
yeah, a huge gun. It looked cool. That Chris Dale's game looked really cool. Cool where you were playing in like 3 time periods
Oh
instantaneously.
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Past, present, and future.
Yeah, that game looked
That
really,
looked really
cool.
cool.
So yeah, PC Gaming Show. Not bad.
Maneater,
Maneater looked really
where
cool.
he plays a shark.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
It's like GTA but sharks.
Did they show Untitled Goose Game?
They showed it in a highlight reel, but they
Yeah.
didn't show anything new about it.
Damn.
The game's apparently still coming out this year, but I am skeptical at this point. But maybe it will. Limited Run Games had their thing. I wrote it like Night in the Woods getting a physical edition is really cool.
Yep.
One of Wenzel's favorite games, Transistor, is getting a
Yep.
physical edition, so that's really cool. And they're also printing a lot of classic Star Wars games for physical. So the first one coming out is
Yeah.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter for the PS4 physical edition. So that's neat, but it's
And
like,
Pod Racer.
yeah, they're doing Pod Racer.
All those games that released with Battlefront on the PS4 whenever Battlefront came out.
Yeah, they're doing
Oh,
like
okay.
fi-
So it was like Super Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter.
There's like 8
the
or 10
sequel-
games.
The sequel to the Pod Racer.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a few more that wasn't included with that. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. They showed like 12 title screens, I think. So that was limited run games. Good. I mean,
Jonathan,
good.
get your face away from that mic.
to fucking punch them. Ubisoft was Monday afternoon.
Ubisoft had a good show.
Ubisoft had a really good show. I want to mention Watch Dogs Legion because holy shit.
Watchdog Legion.
looks fucking
Good.
awesome.
You play as a grandma.
You play as everyone.
No. You play as a grandma and you shoot people.
You play as literally everyone. Here's my favorite saying: is people are like, you can play as every NPC. I'm like, what do you think the NP stands for? NP stands for non-playable. If you can play as them, they're not NPC. They're just C. I get what they're trying to market it as.
No, I'm just bidding.
I get what they're trying to market it as, but it's always so weird. It's like when people say ATM machine. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah. No. Like, what normally would be NPCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so they're like, every NPC is playable. It's like, well, that's real fucking like, gotcha, Ubisoft.
So now is it PPC? Playable character.
I was thinking, I'm like, surely to God, he's not saying playable twice. But you were, so. That game looks incredible. Though.
Yeah,
like
It's got the fucking like futuristic neon lights everywhere type feeling that it's hard.
and permadeath.
yeah,
like
your character's permadeath. Yep.
Yeah, but like
I feel it.
yeah, you're gonna have funerals for your character. There's gonna be a character that when they die, you start breaking down.
No, I mean there was a moment in there where the first character they play as saves a guy that they want on their team, and the guy you play as dies, and then they get another person to get the guy, and when they finally get him on their team at the end of the mission, he was like, "Hey, what happened to the dude that saved me?" He's like, "He's dead."
Yeah, he died, and then you just like seamlessly transition to the guy you just recruited to your team, and like, oh, now you're him. He's a drone expert.
Yeah.
It's just like that seems incredibly ambitious. I'm very excited to see if they can pull it off. From what I've heard, again, from like the behind closed door stuff, they pulled it off. They did it.
That's
It's
fucking good though. Like
Yeah.
it looks so good. And it comes out in March.
March 6th. Comes out 3 days after Final Fantasy.
it's a definite day one for me.
Oh, yeah.
I have
Oh,
to
I think
yeah.
so too. It's scary. I know we're talking about November. I was like, wow, November's a big month.
Spring.
Next spring, especially next March, is
It's fucked.
crazy packed. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They showed Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Amazing.
It looked cool, but it just doesn't do. That's their big holiday game this year.
But we're
John
forgetting the
Barenthal.
third and final greatest E3 moment. Bam Bam.
Oh, Bam Bam the dog, the Ubisoft dog. Yep,
Yeah,
of course.
a superstar and John Bernthal.
Yeah, that was my favorite tweet of probably the whole
Yeah.
week, where somebody was like, I think Nibelian
Nibel,
tweeted it,
yeah.
and he was like, "Yep, superstar and John Barenthal." I was like, "Great, I love it."
Did we talk about Gods and Monsters?
Oh,
That's-
yeah,
But I mean, we just saw a trailer.
we
don't
saw
know
a
much.
trailer, but it looked really cool.
I'm very excited for because it seems because it's coming to the Switch as well, which makes me excited for like Breath of the Wild type
Yep.
remake, not remake, but like a Breath of the Wild type like esque game,
yeah.
open world. Wenzel's dancing.
Yeah, Wenzel dabbed.
He
Or
was-
not dabbed.
He's
he
like
whipped.
you can't see that, but he was dancing.
Yeah.
Because I gotta figure it out.
I just don't know what to. I just don't have any feelings toward Gods and Monsters because the trailer felt like nothing. It just felt like a mobile game trailer.
No, that makes sense because I mean we didn't see anything. We just know it's about gods and monsters and it
Well,
takes place in a Greek.
And you have to save the gods.
yeah.
You're there to save the gods. I
Apparently.
think it got a release next February. I think is
Did
what
it?
they
Oh, wow.
said.
I'm
Maybe-
excited for it. It's one of
maybe.
on my list.
But I
of
mean that
games
was
I'm
like
excited for.
pretty
Yeah.
much the two biggest games from Ubisoft. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm not really big on the Ubisoft conference is just because we got that and then we got Watch Dogs Legion and I mean we got Breakpoint, but
Yeah.
you know Breakpoint like. I mean, I like John Bernthal and all, and like I do want to play this game, but it's just not. It wasn't that big, and we mostly got. Fuck me, what's his name? Talked about Mythic Quest, his new show.
Yeah, Rob, Always Sunny guy.
McElhenney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
which I mean, you know,
looks neat, but like it was funny. You could also feel like the room kind of deflate, where he's like, "Coming to Apple TV Plus," and it's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
and it's
I
like,
was so
and it's like he took the
disappointed.
time out of this conference to talk about his show.
a TV show."
And then
It's-
and then there was that moment when the guy talked about the updates for the Division 2.
yeah,
And-
like
Which
it-
that's big.
Yeah, those are
That's
big
some cool
updates.
shit.
but I mean
they're all free too.
but
Yeah.
they're updates.
and then like Rainbow Six Siege, like I know that's a big like that's huge on like the esports scene, but like personally for me, I'm not really big on. So the Ubisoft conference had a lot of highs, but a lot of like I really don't care.
yeah,
But one thing I wanted to touch on is Uplay Plus, which is their
the worst thing of
It's
fuck-
$15 a month, which is already like I could maybe see buying into this if it was like $5 a month, but $15 a month is like more expensive than like every other streaming service on the market.
Yeah.
And not only that, Uplay Plus is coming to Stadia. So, hypothetically, if you wanted to play these games the best they played, you would have to pay your subscription fee to Stadia to then pay your subscription fee to Uplay Plus. And that's just for Ubisoft games. Like, it's not, the Game Pass, has games from everywhere. Has first parties, got indies, got all this, got all that. These Ubisoft games are just Ubisoft games.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like,
There's a lot of great Ubisoft games, but you're
I
paying
agree.
for 2 subscriptions, possibly more, because
Oh, we're
now
gonna-
that Ubisoft's done it. We're gonna see it from Bethesda, like, probably Naughty Dog. I don't think Naughty
I
Dog.
don't think Naughty Dog.
No.
We'll just see it from every big game company, and it's gonna be fucking bullshit.
I mean-
Square Enix.
I could see Square Enix doing it. I mean,
Yes.
and like just from what I've heard, and, like this isn't, this is like just from what I've heard. Ubisoft is not the only company that's doing this. They are
Oh,
just
they're-
the first company that
they're-
said, "Hey, we're doing this."
They're like whispers.
Yeah, there's a lot of whispers that like, "Hey, a lot of devs coming to Stadia are going to be doing their own like publisher streaming packages." So it's like,
Fuck.
ooh.
I fucking hate
So-
subscription
And
services.
oh man, fucking shit.
So I guess
Stop.
What do you even do about that?
I guess we'll see what
cry.
happens.
You cry.
you just don't get Stadia.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens comes the time Stadia's in full release. I think next March. So I guess
Don't
we'll see
look
what
at me.
happens. The Kinda Funny Games showcase actually really cool. It was just indie titles. They showed 63, I think was the total number. I wrote,
There's a lot.
yeah,
And they moved around locations.
yeah. They moved around location a great bit. Hamsterdam was the game where you played as a fucking hamster.
Yeah.
Skatebird, the game where you skateboarded as a bird.
Yes.
Skate 4, by the way.
Yeah, but I also want to mention the game they showed at the end of the conference, which I think if you're showcasing all these games, I don't know if you end with somebody who's like, "Hey, this is our dear, close, personal best friend ever." I thought that was kind of weird, but it's
They
called,
closed out on the worst.
on
game
the worst,
out of all.
probably the worst game I saw at
It's
E3.
so-
Yeah, it's
it
the
was-
worst game at E3.
It was so
probably
weak.
was.
Below fucking that shitty mobile game that Bethesda's doing.
Yeah, it's
Commander
Keen.
Kyle.
Commander Keen.
Yeah. It's called Adam's Ascending. Adam, and like, I don't know, but like the trailer was like choppy. like
7 frames per second.
8 FPS, and like like there was one part in the trailer where like a ship crashed, and like the ship crashed, it like stayed there for a second, and then like exploded.
It was so like loud too.
It was loud. It wasn't properly compressed. It was so bizarre after you show all these great indie titles. And like I get if you want to throw that game in there, do it. I don't know if you make that your and one more thing.
It felt like a shitty college project, and even the title screen font for it looked so fucking.
And it's
shit.
called Adam's Ascending, which I'm like, is Adam because the way it's spelled in the trailer, it's ADAMS, but no, not apostrophe S. So it's like, is it multiple Adams Ascending, or is it Adams Ascending and you really forgot a fucking apostrophe?
So it's a supernatural exploration set in a dimension of soul.
Sure.
Multiple choice of path of gameplay with purpose-driven challenges. It's story, also narrative-driven pacing, which
Didn't get any of that from the trailer.
yeah, unique environments that hold the secrets of life's mysteries. So it's kind of almost like a therapeutic type, weird ass new age.
Just seeing the trailer stressed me out. So they failed. But yeah, like Kind of Funny Game Showcase up to that point was really good.
Really good.
They showed a lot of really cool stuff that I'm excited about. And like a lot of those indie games they showed are like 2019 or early 2020 titles. Like a lot of those games are coming out in the next 12 months. And then they just ended on that. And it's just like, wow, weird. So, and then Monday night, we had Square Enix. Jonathan's getting ready. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's happening. It's also launching on 2 fucking Blu-ray discs. And like the only PS4 game that's done that so far is Red Dead 2. But Red Dead 2 was an install disc
and then
the
play
game disc. Final Fantasy VII Remake is just 2 game disc. So, Jonathan, you have the floor.
Okay, yeah. I'm really excited about it. The trailer, the gameplay, all of it looked really good. I was really surprised because this was my most hyped, but also the thing I was most worried about.
Yeah.
Just because
It's Square Enix.
it's Square Enix, they're stupid, and every bit of news that's been released since 2015 when they announced it has just been, oh no. But like the gameplay looks really good. It's I don't know how they did it, but it's a weird blend of turn-based strategy versus like an action role or ARPG type thing.
For me, it was like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15 fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, like the best way I could describe it, it's like the best parts of Kingdom Hearts, the best parts of Final Fantasy 15, best parts of Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 7, like this weird chimera that somehow may work.
Yeah.
Is Final Fantasy VII Remake going to be the thing that actually reboots the Final Fantasy series and makes it good again?
You don't really reboot Final Fantasy.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was very well received. There was just a lot of Square Enix lost a lot of money when they were planning on doing expansions for that game, and they literally couldn't afford them.
Final Fantasy 15 is an amazing game.
It was unfinished, but
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a pretty good game. The only thing that concerns me about the combat is it looks kind of tedious. Like especially the bosses look like damage sponges.
Yeah.
Because like the whole like boss fight, what they showed was really long, and there was like multiple cuts.
Yeah, there was cuts.
And I'm just like, oh man, I hope every fight isn't going to be like this.
Yeah, like
I think it's just the boss fight because I mean it's the boss, and plus it's only in Midgar, so they got to make those things last.
That is very true, but I
also
mean,
it seems like they're stretching it out, and they're going to be adding a lot of stuff. Considering,
yeah,
I mean, Midgard was just disc 1 for original.
no, it wasn't even.
It wasn't even the entire disc 1.
No, it was like if you knew what you were doing, you could get through it in about 3-5 hours.
Yeah, so now they're like, hey, what if we made it 2 Blu-ray disc?
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of that is just for the amount of like detail they're
I
putting
was
in
to say
the
most of the. I think people might. How did they say how long you would? It would
I mean, they
take?
said it's a full-fledged Final Fantasy experience.
So probably like 80 hours.
So, like, I mean, you're talking 50, 60, 70 hours.
within Midgar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they expanded upon that, I could see it.
Which I mean,
And
they could.
and it is a reimagining, so there could be entirely new content here that we don't know about. I
Yeah.
mean, because again, they're like, this is not a remaster. I mean, Square Enix has been very upfront. It's like, this isn't a remaster. If you're expecting original Final Fantasy VII, go play original Final Fantasy VII. If you want a reimagining and like a full-blown remake of Final Fantasy VII, this is what this is.
Yeah.
So
And we've got our first look at Tifa,
yeah,
which
saw Tifa.
Nice.
Yeah,
she
and-
kicked ass.
yeah, and I mean also too, like going back to the gameplay, it looks like each character that you switch between plays differently too. So it's not
Which
like,
was it wasn't at launch, but which is the same thing with Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had the update where you could play as every character,
Mm-hmm.
which is really awesome.
And what else was? See, the 2-disc. It looks great. Yeah, I'm excited. I was not expecting March of next year.
March 3rd.
March seems early.
It seems really early, seeing as how they like scrapped 2 years
Yeah.
of development.
Considering at one point Square Enix just took over proper because CyberConnect 2 was fucking it up apparently, and they were like, "Hey, we'll take it from here."
which is good. I'm
yeah.
kind of glad they did that.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, like I don't know why they did that to begin with. I will say the whole thing being in Midgar is a little worrying, just because like originally it was just like 3 to 5 hours, and you're only going to get like 5 of the main party members, if that. So I imagine a lot of the ancillary characters will probably
Yeah.
flesh out.
I'm just
So-
interested to see, because they said in an interview, they were like, "Well, how many games are you expecting to get out of this?" They were like, "Well, we don't know yet." And it's just like,
Yeah,
wow.
that's another thing that worries
You don't
me.
even have a roadmap for that shit. Like, are you aiming for 3? Is it just going to be Final Fantasy 7 and 7-2? Are we going to have like 7-3, 7-4? Like, how do you not have a
don't want it to
roadmap
go-
for that?
I'm already mad that it's more than one game, but I don't. If it goes past,
Especially if it's
3,
multiple
I'm gonna
discs.
be hurt.
If
it
it's
goes
multiple
past 3.
disc and over like 40 to 50 hours per disc, that would blow. That would not per disc, but like per installment. Like,
Yeah.
They did that with Final Fantasy 13, and apparently those were good. I didn't play them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they're okay.
that also was all original new content, and I get Final Fantasy VII is a remake, but also it's at least loosely based off of original Final Fantasy VII. So like there is an established lore there, and like I get that you don't want to.
I don't know what
you
to
don't
expect.
you don't need to fuck it all up, but like also
Fuck
If
it up.
it's Square Enix.
If it's good, I'll probably get it. But like if it's universally, I'm gonna wait till Jonathan plays it first of all.
You'll just borrow it
Yeah,
from
because I'm
Jonathan.
probably going to get it day one, just to because I'm a Final Fantasy fanboy. So
Yeah, which
I'll,
is
I'll
fair.
get it.
You've played every Final Fantasy, haven't you? Except for the online ones.
all except the online ones in 3.
You
Speaking-
haven't played 3?
3 came out on the DS.
Yeah, and it-
years and years. I love that DS.
I have the
version.
remaster on Steam.
But
Good for you.
Thank you.
speaking of remasters, Final Fantasy fucking 8 is getting a remaster. So if you don't know the story about Final Fantasy 8, Square Enix said a couple of years ago, they were like, "Hey, we lost the source code, so we literally can't remake it, or we can't release it on anything, even if we wanted to, because we lost all the fucking master files." And then they're just like, "Oh wait, we have." So apparently, what they did is, if I read it correctly, is that they found something that had Final Fantasy 8 source code in it, literally grabbed the assets from that, and are remaking it based off of a port that already existed, is what I'm reading correctly, because Square Enix legitimately lost the fucking master files for a whole ass Final Fantasy game. But that's just Square Enix.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean it's one of the lesser ones. So I'm
looks good,
excited
though.
for this remaster.
I'm going to buy it as soon as it comes out on Switch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's coming on Switch. I mean, I have it for the original PlayStation, but I don't want to bust that thing out every
Yeah.
time I
Yeah.
want to play it.
And the other big thing from Square Enix's press conference is they finally showed Marvel's Avengers.
There's a
What's
lot
that?
of babies out there that
Yeah,
are
I
pissed
have-
off about it, and I don't know why. They're
don't-
like,
Yeah.
they don't look like the movie Avengers. So
And
I
it's
don't
like, do you
it.
want that budget to be astronomical? Back off.
I don't understand. Like people, I see people have tied themselves way too to the MCU. They just now that if you go to, that's the reason why when people go to people be like, oh, I love Marvel movies, and they go look at the comics, they're like, this doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr. I mean, they have the comics have moved toward the more Robert Downey Jr. look alike, but like this doesn't look like Samuel L. Jackson. Why is he not? Why doesn't he have the patch over? All this other bullshit. It's like, guess what? Your characters aren't based off of these characters aren't necessarily based off of
Actors.
actors
And
and
I'm
things like
glad they don't. I mean, I don't want to, because I feel like if they looked, I feel like if Square, if they wanted to make that sort of game, I feel like it would just be us playing the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I
like,
don't want to do that.
Which
I
is
don't
like
either.
that's why.
Or like some weird in between that they somehow didn't cover. And
Yeah.
it's like,
I will say that the voice acting and was a little jarring at first.
Yeah.
They got some big ass names
It
though.
But yeah, it was a little jarring because it was not the same character
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that really struck me was the actual dialogue was not very good. It felt like a dub. It felt like an anime dub.
It felt weird in this. It felt weird in the sense that like
I kind of want to play this game in Japanese.
it felt weird because it was definitely like it felt like they were showing like the first take of these. Like I mean, they have big name. I mean, like Nolan North, Troy Baker tied to this. Like I mean, those are your two big names in video game voice acting.
If I see Troy Baker in anything, it's automatically a good game.
Sure, and so like. And like they do really stellar work. They have done, I mean, like award-winning voice acting. So like I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about why they decided to show what they showed. I think they wanted to show that, even though if it was a little cheesy, just because they were like, hey, this is what the game's kind of about. Because the
Yeah.
game seems to be about like, oh fuck, Captain America died.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have much of the story so far, which is funny. Something else I've seen people complain about is the story. They're like, the story's been done so many times, and we don't like. It's so boring. Like,
There's not somebody at Bethesda's conference said it. I believe it was at Bethesda's conference where no, it was at Ubisoft's conference. Always Sunny Rob said it was like, this community is the hardest community to please, and it's like, wow, you're literally not kidding.
Yeah.
And then you bring in a bunch of fucking comic book nerds into it. It's just like, we want something exactly tailored to just my taste and my taste only,
Like,
and that
man,
is not happening.
do you
It's
want to
not
fuck them? Is that what this is?
Yeah, they all look average as well, like average attractiveness.
I mean,
And
great. Like that is true. They look average, but it's like, do you want them to look so good you can fuck them right then and there?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
When
you
so-
know there's so many people out there like, I can't get off to this. What the fuck?
Like that reminds me of Spider-Man. People were pissed that Mary Jane didn't look like strikingly hot, beautiful, and it's like she looked fine.
And then, like, I remember when they first showed Spider-Man, where they were like, hearing the voice acting, they were like, "Well, that's not a Spider-Man voice I recognize." No shit.
And then the thing is, he's done a Spider-Man voice before.
Yeah,
he's
so-
voice acted for Spider-Man, and this is his second time, but in a game. And also, Peter did not look that pretty. he looked pretty. He looked kind of scary.
He was a pizza boy that had no friends.
He doesn't deliver pizza.
You ever seen Spider-Man?
Oh,
Pizza
my
time.
bad. but yeah, it's like I don't know.
And it's frustrating.
And I think they're going to do a lot of, and obviously it's like a wait and see kind of. It comes out next May. A lot of wait and see, which will actually coincide with, because Marvel's releasing a movie, I believe, next February and next May, so it's going to release pretty close to like one of the second Phase 5 movie.
Yeah. Oh, and fuck me. There were people that were saying that, that Capcom Marvel Alliance game that's coming out.
Yeah.
They're like, that's looking pretty good right about now.
What?
Is it though? Is it looking that fucking good?
I actually think that game does look fun, but like these are the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game and Marvel's Avengers are two drastically different games.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even fair to compare them.
Now there was a fun thing that somebody said that maybe they should have went for the look of Avengers. Maybe they should have went more like stylized, which that would actually been kind of cool if they did that.
Yeah.
But it's like this is a different take. Like they're not going to
Yeah.
look exactly like how you how
Yeah.
they have they been shown. It's like
It's Eidos Montreal. They love detail, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
their games because they love detail so much.
And this is their interpretation of it. This
Well,
isn't
yeah.
like
it's like
the
they're-
fact it's even happening to me, like considering how much of a stranglehold Disney has on all its IP, is frankly baffling.
Yeah, like Captain America's not gonna look like the fucker in the comics. He's
Yeah.
not gonna have that stupid looking costume.
Yeah, but also not going to look like Steve Rogers,
He's
or not
yeah.
going to look like Chris Evans.
Evans.
He's Chris Evans. He's not gonna have the same fucking outfit. I mean, it is similar, but it's like because people were complaining like, why does he have so much body armor on? It's like
because it's realistic.
I mean, but Black Widow, she's wearing a skin tight suit that's literally the same suit from the movies and from the comics. It's like that doesn't really make sense.
That's her skin.
But I mean, I get that, but it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, and like one thing I like, they went up and they were like, "Hey, guess what? All the expansion." So it seems like it's going to be like a kind of a games as a service thing, which is like already, but like they're doing it all for free. They're like you're
Getting new regions, you're getting new heroes.
new heroes, and we kind of got Hank Pym teased at the end, so it was
Wait,
like, oh, cool.
Which Hank Pym looked kind of average.
he
Yeah.
looked the same as every other person in the
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I get
looked
the-
like he fit in that universe.
Yeah.
and I
so-
get that, but
I'm excited for it.
yeah,
I think what people are
Yeah.
missing out here is that these American comic book heroes are really big in the Asian market. This is gonna make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
this was-
China loves.
I mean, that's why.
Loves
I mean,
the
that's why we
Avengers.
see all these movies that have like 10-cent pictures and like, oh, why is 3 people from the MCU in fucking Kong Skull Island? Oh, because Tencent had investing interest in it. Oh, why is Chris Hemsworth now in New Men and Tessa Thompson now in New Men in Black? Oh, because Tencent had investing interest in it. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
you know, and from what we could tell, we did see gameplay as well. We did, we didn't get HUD
Yeah.
or anything, but as far as we can tell,
That
It looked awesome.
and
it looked awesome.
It
The
looked
Iron
really
Man
good.
flying bit.
Iron Man
I'm really
flying
into
looked really
that.
good. The Hulk jumping over across the bridge looked fucking
Being angry.
cool.
yeah,
So
Hulk, Thor, and then Captain America fighting.
yeah, I'm excited. Next May, I'm sure we'll probably see. Well, I mean, we'll have to see more of this game soon.
Yeah.
If it's coming out in May, there's no major. I mean, Gamescom in August and TGS and was TGS in November or December now? Probably one of those, and then we'll probably see some at the Game Awards.
Yep.
So like, we'll probably see it.
Maybe
at least,
PlayStation Experience.
maybe
if that's
PSX
the
if they have it this year. So we'll probably see this game 3, 4, maybe 5 times before the end of the year. Who knows? And then final conference, Nintendo.
It's Nintendo.
We've been going for
We are an hour and 55 minutes.
Yeah, so we're about to hit 2 hours. So with Nintendo, I want to talk about both Smash announcements at the same time. They announced Dragon Quest Hero, which was a lot different because everybody was like, "Oh, Erdrick's going to be put on," which he was, but it's also like
3 other heroes.
3 other Dragon Quest heroes,
which is so awesome.
which is really
I'm really
cool.
happy that they put all 4 of those.
I'm
guys
a
in there.
very big fan of that. And then at the very end, Nintendo's like, one last thing. There's the next to last announcement. Fucking Banjo Kazooie is finally joining Smash, which is like,
We predicted it.
we did. But like after
I feel like this was something that like you could see coming.
after all like the Microsoft buddy stuff has happened, it's like, okay, Banjo has to be happening.
Yeah.
Banjo has to be fucking happening. And Banjo's happening. Coming out in the fall. Dragon Quest Hero is going to be in the summer, so like
It's coming out next month.
probably July or August, and then we'll probably see Banjo in October, November.
Yeah.
And then we'll get 2 more characters before February. So now it's just like who's left? Like who is there anybody
Sans. I still want Sans.
I-
No joke.
Sans
He would be a good
Sans
fighter.
would be really fucking cool in Smash, but
Oh, Terminator.
yes. So the Smash announcements were fucking awesome. Witcher 3 is actually coming to Switch, which is like the worst kept secret in the world. But like also I was still surprised to see it because I'm just like, how the fuck are they getting the Witcher on
and
Switch?
it's gonna be all on the cartridge.
It's all in the cartridge.
That's
and not,
wild to me.
and like it from everything I've heard, it plays fucking good.
And it
So-
looks
and it
looks decent.
yeah. There's not a super noticeable downgrade in quality from playing on a high definition PlayStation 4.
It's noticeable, but it's not.
It's noticeable, but it's not like, oh, this is game ruining. Oh.
I mean, and the thing is, though, is that one of the greatest aspects about The Witcher is the fact that, I mean, if you played it on PC versus I played it on PS4. I just bought it for PC, so I'm excited to actually play it on PC.
Yeah, because Cody's rich.
Well, I played it on PS4 because Tanner let me borrow it. Thank you, Wenzel.
Rich.
And then I bought it on sale for
And then he
14
stole my copy of Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, middle class.
Found it, by the
Jonathan
way.
told me that.
Found it, by the way.
that was fucking
Jonathan
funny.
told me about it. I'm like, how the fuck did it end up in your truck?
Anyways, no, I'm actually very excited for The Witcher 3 coming to the Switch because it's the complete
This year,
edition.
too.
And it's the complete edition.
Yep.
So that opens up a whole new world for people like, Jonathan here to finally fucking play the Witcher series, which he would absolutely fucking
Jonathan,
love.
Jonathan
yeah.
would probably like Witcher 3 more than anybody at this table.
Nah,
Jonathan-
I don't know. I
I-
love Witcher 3.
I know, but
Jonathan plays the first. He won't go back and play the first or second one. No one, or maybe the second one. The second one you might want to go back and play.
is the second one on console?
It's on
Xbox
360.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's on 360.
I wouldn't go back. Just
However-
wait until some kind of
Or I
collection.
mean, you can just start with 3. If Jonathan were to play 3 sometime in the next 3 months, by this time next year, he'll have every goddamn book read and played every game and watched gameplay for 1 and 2 and found the soul story. He will know every aspect
yeah,
of
for sure.
the Witcher
He would.
series.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you would be so all the way down with Witcher. And it's coming out this year, so I don't know. Nintendo has a packed fucking schedule. I don't even know where you release a major third-party game like Witcher 3, but it's coming out sometime. I would guess October. October
yeah, that
seems
seems like a good time
seems
for it.
fine. And then they showed Trials of Mana and the Mana Collection. That's I know nobody here is like super big on that, but that's a fucking huge deal.
The,
because,
It
like,
is.
the collection of mana is something
Yeah.
that I really want to get into. Jonathan, this may be something that you want as well because
Yeah.
the whole it has ties in with Final Fantasy and how.
Yeah, I never realized that Secret of Mana was a spin-off.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was a spin-off of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like
Or it was going to be, and then became its own thing.
yeah, but then it because in the collection of mana, which I don't really think the price of $60 is a good idea. I think it should be $30. But
is it
I thought
60?
it was
it's,
40.
it's a full 60 for.
Oh, I thought it was 40.
Yeah,
I swear it's
definitely
40.
waiting for that to drop.
Hey, we didn't put a mic out for this dude.
God damn it.
Shut up.
empty Mr. Pibb bottle.
Extra.
Pibb extra. I'm sorry.
And then they also showed No More Heroes 3, which is like, the new Suda 51 game. That's fucking.
It's $40.
It is okay.
Oh, is the collection?
Yeah.
of mana?
I didn't. 60 sounded absurdly
Yeah.
high.
Okay, that's not bad. I thought the collection of mana because I was reading somewhere where it was like a very high price for it, and I thought I read 60. So
You're probably thinking about Trials, the new Trials.
the
Trials of Mana. Yeah.
Oh.
because they may do the remake of the Trials of Mana.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
looks
it's
also
the
really cool.
First time it's coming to the States or West in general.
Yep. No More Heroes 3. We just got CG, but it looks fucking batshit.
Looks like another Suda 51
another
game.
Suda 51 game. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Looks awesome.
Looks-
I love it. It's on the fucking hotel from Odyssey.
It's in the hotel. Fucking Gooigi is back. High definition. Also, I did not expect Luigi's Mansion 3 to have fucking 8-player multiplayer, which is really cool. Like I'm like that. Like
Which is more if you count the Guigis.
well, no, I think 4 people play as Luigi and 4 people play as Gooigi,
Oh, okay.
maybe, or maybe it was 8 Luigis and you also get your own Gooigi.
That was a
Also-
lot of players.
Also, Shining is in the hotel.
Wait, what?
What?
No, it's actually the Shining remake. That's what it is.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep.
Yeah,
Doctor Sleep,
Doctor
also
Sleep.
known as Luigi's Mansion
Dr. Gooigi. Nino Kuni is coming out on Switch, which I will finally be able to
You know,
play Nino Kuni.
It's not the remaster.
Yeah, it's just a straight up
That's
port.
the weird thing. It's the remaster's coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One and PC. However, Nino Kuni Wrath of White Witch, the original one, is just being ported straight over to the Switch.
Yeah.
without any updates.
Hey, guess what? I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's
all they're doing is
it's a very cartoony game.
yeah. It's very difficult to. I mean, it's still going to play it. I think it's 720p.
Yeah, I think it's
But-
still high def and
Yeah.
30
But-
FPS, which is what everything else plays in handheld mode on the Switch anyways.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. They showed Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That game comes out next month.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Give me that.
I kind of that what they showed at the direct. I'm like, man, do I ever want to play Fire Emblem Harry Potter? Fuck yeah, I do. So I was really excited about that.
I didn't realize it was based around like a school. I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be like 3 warring houses, but no, it's like a fucking
Harry
like,
Potter.
It's literally Fire Emblem Harry Potter, which is right up my fucking alley.
What about those Resident Evil ports?
Yeah, that seemed weird. They were like, hey, Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to Switch.
Yeah, it's like let's get the shitty one and then the racist one.
Yeah.
They're all on there now. They just had to get the full complete collection.
Yeah. Well, 7's not
But
on
like
Switch.
they had like
It
this.
is cloud based.
Well, yeah, but that's only available in Japan. You can't get that in the U.S.
I feel like you can.
coming soon.
Maybe. Astral Chain.
That's
looks
the one I'm
fucking
looking very
rad.
excited for.
It really
When it first announced last year, I think it was.
No, was it last year? I thought it was earlier this
It was
year.
loud.
I don't.
That's
I
my
thought it was at
fucking
the February Direct. I could be wrong.
It looked like a lot of fun, but like I wasn't really sure. It looked like another anime game.
It's platinum.
and
They make amazing games. They
Yeah.
made Nier. They made Bayonetta.
right.
What do you
right.
expect?
Well, I'm looking at the game from what's being shown, and at this point, like I'm very excited because the gameplay mechanics look like a lot of fun, and they look really cool, and the story looks really cool. I don't know. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Astral Chain. Daemon X Machina is still
also
coming.
looks fucking cool as hell. I didn't realize it was like a full on story game. I thought
Yeah.
it was like a weird multiplayer mech game.
I hope it's been fixed because I remember playing the demo last year that came out on Switch. Might have been early this year too. And like it was really choppy and it felt weird. It didn't control great. I kind of hope that stuff has kind of been ironed out. I kind of hope they do another demo before the full game comes out. So like test the waters with that again. But it's it's fucking Max. I'm interested. You know. Link's Awakening.
Still looks awesome.
Okay.
I don't
Yes,
think
yes,
it
yes.
deserves the $60 price tag. That's just me.
I do.
I think that's $60 seems. I could 40. I think would be good.
Yeah.
60 just seems a little like
I mean,
Is
that's
it coming to the Switch or the 3DS?
Switch.
Switch.
It's Switch.
I mean, even then, like, I don't know that.
it has.
That still seems a little steep to me.
Because Link's Awakening is not a very long game.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's been rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I get
That's
that.
true, and
And-
it might build on what they.
Yeah, it's
what's-
because there was no way it's been rebuilt from the ground up. It has different graphics to it. It probably does have more content.
Well,
to
yeah,
it.
they're adding that whole dungeon builder thing, which I wonder if will you be able to share your dungeons with other people? Okay, if you can,
Well,
I think
that dungeon building aspect is actually based on you finding those dungeon pieces in the overworld throughout the story.
Yep.
You take those pieces, you build your own dungeon, and going through that dungeon you built, you get to go through your dungeon to pick up other new and good items. So
Yep.
I don't know. It looks like they're adding a whole lot more to it. I mean, I'm excited. I want to see the.
I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm not saying like $60 is a fucking deal breaker. I'm gonna get it. So
I'll wait for sale.
it's definitely one of my most anticipated, and it's cute as fuck.
yeah,
It looks good.
super cute. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Of course.
Okay, get it out.
Go ahead and get it out. It's fucking stupid. I understand. It takes a lot of time to reanimate, sprite up, whatever the fuck you're doing. I know it takes time, and I think it's bullshit. You don't have all the Pokemon, and this is the first time in all the mainline Pokemon games ever, first time ever, that they're all not going to be in there. I understand that Pokemon's a yearly series, but this is the first Switch game.
Technically, Ruby Sapphire, you couldn't get Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon on legally.
Well, you could still get them on there.
You couldn't catch all Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon in Ruby and Sapphire.
You couldn't port them over.
Oh,
You can
well,
port them
but
over.
still,
They
but
weren't
still,
The thing is, though, is
it's
that
gotten,
argument,
it's not.
argument out.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
granted,
that-
that was 17 years ago. I
Yeah,
get
think
what you're
about the
saying.
current standards.
Yeah, but to say that was 17 years ago, whenever they didn't have like Pokemon
Yeah,
Bank.
no,
Now that we have
completely
Pokemon
agree.
Bank, you should be able to pull. You should be able to get every single Pokemon in these two games by some means, whether by catching in real life. You can have 500 Pokemon in this game that you can catch.
Yeah.
Fucking cool if you can do that. However, if those 500 are only 500 you can get, and you can't transfer over your other Pokemon, and you can't pull all Pokemon over, that really defeats the purpose of Pokemon in the sense that you have lost the ability to gain the Pokemon that you want.
I mean, you literally
You can't catch them
you
all.
can't catch them all, which is like been their major tagline for
Yeah.
25 years now.
Just delay it. Just delay it. What I was trying to say is just delay it. Give them time to make it. To
Well,
where
I
you
mean
can
that.
have
I mean
all
that
the
will
Pokemon.
never. A Pokemon
Yeah.
game will never be
That-
delayed.
I don't give a
ever.
shit
But
about
it's
delay.
still insanely stupid
The
to
del-
release it without all the Pokemon.
I mean, it is frustrating, but like I don't know. Masuda and what they said was like, and they're using the 3DS sprites. They're bringing those over, but like the thing is, they're having to rework and retouch those up. So like
that doesn't take long. And that
Cody
doesn't-
went to graphic design.
No,
school.
but like, that's
no.
the thing that a lot of
Well,
like people who are in that line of work are saying is like this should not necessarily. That's not a game breaker. Like you can, what's we don't. I think more will come out about like this whole situation, but I think it actually comes down to a staffing issue and
That's probably
a
true, too.
money issue that
Possibly.
that Game Freak is kind of holding back on their money, and also other games that they're producing like Town and everything like that. Whereas instead of saying, okay, we're going to split our development team and then bump each development team to the amount of people they need, they're just splitting the development team.
Yeah.
And that's some of the rumors that I've heard and things like that. And I think that, I don't think there should be a delay. I don't mind spending, like, if you release Sword and Shield and say, okay, you can only get the 500 Pokemon you can get right here, right now, in this game for the next 6 months, and then whenever Pokemon Home announces or releases, we'll be releasing an update that allows you to bring over any Pokemon you want.
which I would imagine.
I would imagine that's what would happen,
But
but they need to tell us that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
sorry, something I should mention. Cody's been saying 500. I've been saying 500. We actually don't know.
We don't
this
know.
We don't
this
know
is-
the number.
This was just an estimate I threw out there. And
I mean, imagine if it's like of course they said that one of the major reasons is that it's going to push, like, we're going to get over 1,000 Pokemon. We're going to have 1,000 Pokemon
include like
in
alternate
the world.
alternate forms included over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
Which that tells you something about the Galar region Pokemon specifically.
Yeah, I mean that tells you we're probably getting the most Pokemon we've had added to a region since like Gen.
One.
Which I mean,
Yeah.
you could also make the argument that maybe they're trying to make you focus more on the Galar region Pokemon. and
Yeah,
actually
which
use them.
which they've always done
Which
that.
is fine
Yeah.
for the first 6 months, but then once I beat the storyline, once I catch all the Galar region Pokemon, what the fuck else is there?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Where's
and they have said like the post game will be the most expansive post game.
Yeah, they said there's
ever
a-
in a Pokemon game.
There's a lot of stuff to do, and then but something else too that we brought up, and this by no means should like cut anybody out, but like everybody who fills at National Dex, that's like a small percentage of people, which
is not
but-
really the point.
The point, I don't give a shit. The whole point of the National Dex isn't the fact that you won't be able to fill it up. The whole point of the National Dex is the fact that if my favorite Pokemon, again, I'm going to use Chimecho here as we did in our chat. If Chimecho is my favorite fucking Pokemon, I should be able to get a goddamn Chimecho.
Sure.
I mean, sure.
Some point in time in this Pokemon
I want
game.
my Dunsparce.
Like, I should be able to get that Pokemon, because if not, then like that kind of like, if I'm not able, which I know one of my favorite Pokemon, Espeon, I'm pretty sure Ampharos. I don't know, Ampharos may not be in this fucking
all
game.
Gen 1 Pokemon. I know it's Gen 2, but all Gen 1 Pokemon are going to make it. They
Yeah.
have to because it's stupid Gen 1 fucking love.
I know Espeon.
well, not that, but also because Let's Go. I mean,
Gen 1
Pikachu
love.
and Eevee, like they can literally just take those. I mean, there's no reworking to be done. It's literally
Yeah.
But that's my whole.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, I know my favorite Pokemon are going to be in there, but I can't help but think about other people who have very specific Pokemon that they've
Yeah.
grown up with for 20 goddamn years. That suddenly is like, ooh, sorry, you're Dunsparce.
and also. Like Game Freak has never cared about competitive really a bunch. Like they never harp on it. Seems like this is going to change the meta quite a bit.
Which is like why? Like that shit's already been balanced. I don't know why.
It seems weird to be like, hey, there's going to be like 300 Pokemon you can't use in this game. And it's like, whoa, what? It's like, what the fuck?
Like I don't like they talk about that. Like there's a balance issue, and it's like, well, why? Why is there a balance issue? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe you need to rework your new Pokemon. You might need to do that instead of possibly retouching on the old ones.
Well, I don't think it's
Well,
not going to be so much retouching on the old ones. It's just
About
like
adding animations and stuff like
Well,
that.
yeah. Well, no, because I read where like they're taking 3DS models, but because they are still 3DS sprites or whatever, they're having to rework them and retouch them up and add animation stuff. There's like it is a process.
They're adding, because they do have extra ability to add more animations. They are, which I'm glad. I'm very happy for.
make the Pokemon feel more alive. I
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
totally fine. And also, but like when it comes to like graphics and things like that, it's really just fixing shaders and it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say that as not someone who does this, but like, but again, the big issue is the fact that like, you know, I don't care if it comes in a later update. Just we
Tell
should be
me.
able.
They need to get out in front and say
Because-
if it is or not.
Because the
Yeah.
only thing we've gotten is that they both said they have no plans to add Pokemon.
and
for
apparently,
updates.
Japanese fans are not happy. Like,
Oh, no, no,
A
no.
lot of people aren't happy. Their
Like-
Pokemon Reddit
like-
has a rage thread where they're like, "What the fuck? What is this Pokemon home
I mean,
bullshit?"
sure, but like
But-
Reddit's
but
one.
That's
is-
Reddit.
yeah,
it's still one of the most popular forums in the internet.
But
But
I-
fuck it, right?
I mean, so is 4chan, but who
That-
gives a
there's
fuck
two
about
different.
well, I mean, fuck
And
it.
well, they're mad too. So I mean, but that's the thing is that no, I don't. I've heard people justifying and being like, "Man, it's whatever." And again, I was pretty not okay with the lack of with in Sun and Moon the lack of what is it? What are those fucking Gen 7 or not Gen 7, Gen 6's
Mega Evolution.
Mega Evolution.
Evolutions,
I was kind of upset about that because it's like, oh, those are cool. Everyone loves them, and then they're like, they're not really gonna be a big play a big part. Okay,
Not in Gen
And-
7, and they're not in Gen 8.
and
so.
it's like fuck.
But also giant kaiju Pokemon. So
Which is like okay, that's neat and all, but
it's neat, but
It's
it's like
a silly addition.
and
It's
it's like-
dumb.
and-
I'm saying it right here.
And
It's
another thing
fucking
about
yeah,
like
I'm
the competitive
with
scene,
you.
also, it's like because they took out Mega Evolutions, Pokemon that were like relevant are now irrelevant.
well, it's like my thing too is like one of the most viable Pokemon in competitive play is Klefki, which is the Keyring Pokemon
Yeah.
from Gen 5 or Gen
which
6.
is stupid.
But like, is Game Freak going to take the time? It's like, well, we have to have fucking Klefki in this game, or is Klefki going to be taken out? If Klefki's taken out, I mean, like that's a huge Pokemon, like probably one of the 10 most used Pokemon in competitive play.
Yeah.
just taken out.
and they just they're fucking.
So-
I did see Noibats in it, and I love Noibat and Noivern, but I mean, God,
I think as like I don't want to get to the like I think it'd be really shitty if we get to the game and like they push the game out and there's all these Pokemon available. We're like, hey, guess what? There's no like Gen 5 Pokemon available.
Yeah.
I think like if we can at least get a good melting pot out of the gate, like, hey, there will be Pokemon in this game catchable day one from Gen 1s to Gen 8. That's fine. And then it's like at a later date when Pokemon Home releases, hey, guess what? You'll be able to catch all of them. It'll be no big deal. Great.
not even catch all.
Not
Transfer.
catch, just transfer.
You can get them in-game
Yes,
somehow.
they can be in your game on your disc or
no,
on your cartridge.
They'll burn in Pokemon Home for all of eternity.
Yeah. There's that one problem where if they go to Pokemon Home and they're not in Pokemon Home, they're stuck in Pokemon Home forever
Well,
until
no. If they're not in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they're stuck in Pokemon Home.
yeah.
So
Still.
I'm interested to see what they're doing because I think the Pokemon game next year is going to be Gen 4 remake.
The Sinnoh.
Yeah, it's going to be Diamond
Yeah.
Pearl remakes. So I'm interested to see like what they're going to do.
Man, what I want from the because I'm still gonna buy it. Like I said, I am.
I mean, we're all nobody here is
Yeah.
mad enough to be like fuck Pokemon forever. Oh, but
It's
we're all
just
going to buy it.
I mean, it's like I'm frustrated, sure, but like I don't know. I just can't be so angry. Like man, it's just I don't know.
There's so much other bad shit in gaming. Like I'm not going to be pissed off that I
Yeah.
can't catch 1,000.
Like, I
Pokemon.
mean, like-
or there's a transfer. But again, I know that
Like,
people are.
like,
and
I
I
get
get
It's a
it.
key element of the game.
And I get people grew up with this, and video games that can be more than games, whatever. But like, it's like I don't know. Is this really the battle you want to fight? Like, there are other things happening, like, and especially in the video game industry that like are definitely that need to be fought. And I mean, have some perspective as well. But like again, not to be like insensitive to people who grew up with these games and these games help them get through those hard times, whatever. Like, because I understand that, I get that. So it's like but like again, kind of rein it in, like
No. It's a key element.
I get it's a key
no,
element, but
rein
it's-
in the anger.
It's
like,
so stupid
there
to
should
be
be-
like.
oh no, but you should rein it in because, like I said, like
There should
is this
be
really
anger,
is
there
this-
should be
But I mean, is this the
frustration.
battle you want to fight?
Like-
Yes, there's. I mean,
especially
if I can't get
in
my favorite
20
Pokemon.
like I mean, like
2019
with like workplace discrimination.
Oh my
and-
god, that is like
Well,
like
I'm talking about like in 2019 where there's been so many battles about like Game Crunch and people working 70, 70, 80, 90 hours a week.
Yeah,
like
and that's what
my
I'm talking
thing
about.
is, I'm not going to be pissed off that like, oh, okay,
Yeah, but like if
these Pokemon are missing.
if these developers are still experiencing game crunch, still experience game crunch and not being able to produce every single Pokemon, that's still a problem. And sure, yes, in the grand void of things, like people going hungry elsewhere in the world, sure, we should be more angry about. But goddamn, we're talking about Pokemon.
yeah, no, I totally get it.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about specifically in the video game industry.
And just talking about in the video game industry, like, we should. I mean, there's still like you're even if like you should be able to do work-life balance, treat your developers correctly, be able to do all that while also producing a game that's competent and sticks to your plans and your basic ideas. Of what the game should
when
be.
you have the corporate or overlord saying you got to get a Pokemon game out every 12 months, sometimes it's not doable.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and you have the card game, you have the movie, the TV show,
So-
all these things working. It's like there's just
Let me ask you something. If you could have every Pokemon available to you on this game, but the catch is it's on 3DS and not Switch, would you be mad about that?
no, not really.
Not really.
Oh, bullshit. Ah, nah.
3DS Pokemon games are still good.
I know, I agree they're good, but the Switch at this point would be almost 3 years old. You would not be mad that Pokemon...
I would be like, dang,
After-
that sucks, but I wouldn't be like
See,
as mad as I
I'd
am
much
about
rather-
not
Yeah,
all
I would,
Pokemon.
I would be the same way.
That's
Like,
what I am about this. I'm just like, oh, that sucks, but oh well. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where I stand on it.
I mean, but like I was saying before, what I really wanted out of this game is I hope they fill the. I hope that Galar, like, we get a ton of new Pokemon because they were really
good Pokemon too.
a good Pokemon.
So far, so good. Fucking Corgi.
Yamper and Impidimp.
Grookey.
I mean,
We've only seen like 5 to 7
Yamper,
Pokemon.
Yamper, Impidimp, Corviknight immediately going on my team. Like no lie. But yeah, no, I like they cheap out on us on Sun and Moon. I really want more. I want a lot of good Pokemon. Hope this is good. Hope it's a good story. That's all I can ask for.
And also that gym leader that's a baby. Buff baby.
Milo.
No nose. Draw a
Milo,
nose on
yeah.
him. Just put a black line where his nose is.
Dude from My Hero who
Mirio?
Mirio. Fucking Animal Crossing. They showed it. Animal Crossing New Horizons, March 20th, 2020. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm so
Let me go
excited.
back to my notes.
I-
my 3 pages of notes.
I screamed and like I was like beating on my bed screaming. I was like, "Oh my god, it's fucking Animal Crossing." Oh my god, I'm so excited. I may have an emotional breakdown talking about it here.
we are so we're working to
ahead.
build a town. Mm-hmm. We're working to build a town. We are on this desert island. We have been brought here by Nook. And there seems to be some crafting elements. There is some... You can put furniture everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically going to be building this literal town from the ground up, which I think is fantastic.
Yep.
And a great turn for the franchise.
Yep.
It looks like, a lot of games where you start with a town pre-built, everything kind of there for you already, and then you kind of go forward. It looks like they've kind of shifted that beginning sequence back, and now you're building up, and then from there, I don't know. It just looks very exciting.
One thing I'm excited about we saw in the demo is that apparently when your villagers are going to place their house, you can be like, "Hey, I don't want you to put your house here." And you can kind of guide them to where you want their house. So I mean literally it's like true town management. So if there's somewhere where you're like, "Oh, I want like to do like a little park bench thing here." Guess what? You can be like, "Well, fuck off, Goldie. You're moving over there because the park bench is going here." So I'm excited about that because sometimes villagers' houses would be in really inconvenient places. Like, "Oh, I'm right by the beach." And I'm like, "Oh, that looks really fucking stupid," because like you walk onto the sand, yet your entire house is surrounded by grass. Okay, but
So it looks like we are actually going to be getting an actual RPG task list now.
Yeah.
They tried to do this with the Welcome Amiibo update on... I don't know who all played the Welcome Amiibo update.
not Tanner.
But they actually...
But Amiibo are compatible with this.
They did have cat coupons, which I think they were what they were called, but there was a little machine that gave out coupons based on things you did, like you pull 5 weeds or whatever, and then you could use those coupons in the campgrounds to actually buy different things. It looks like they are basically integrating that from the go here with Nook Miles, where you have certain things you can do, like gather 5 hardwood or chop down this tree or do whatever you need to do, and you can then trade those in or you basically get an achievement based on that. So it's basically little quests that you get points, and you can use those points and spend them on certain things and do certain things with them. Let's see, what else was it? I don't really know. There's a lot about it that's super exciting. The people were very excited about paths and being able to design your town the way you want to.
It looks like you can do like actual proper gardening, like as opposed to like water the flower, you get flowers. Like
you can actually pick flowers,
Pick
and
flowers.
and the main flower stays behind.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull up full trees and transplant trees rather than having to just chop them down and regrow them.
the pathways are huge. I think being able to make your own pathways is like I know it sounds stupid, but it's like I'm really excited about like it because you know in Animal Crossings of old, like your pathways are predetermined. There's like one of 4 presets your town could be in. But
I'd
now
always
it's-
get lost. I'd be like, where the fuck am I?
yeah, but and now you can be like, oh, okay, at this like 4-way stop. Well, if I go north is A's house, if I go south is B's house, and then if they move, you can always just redo the pathways.
And that's the thing that's the best part about it was the fact that now, like where it used to be, in order for you to decorate your town, used to be not hacks, but like halfway between like Nintendo saying, here's some tools, we're not telling you to do this with them, but you can do this with them, and us being like, oh, I'm going to create a path using this design or
Yep.
whatever. Now it's just straight up like, here's the tool, create
Yep.
paths, create your town.
I'm really glad they're taking out the ability to be able to do fucking time cheats. Because if you're playing Animal Crossing doing time cheats, you're taking Animal Crossing too serious.
Yeah.
But also, I fucking hate waiting sometimes.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah, but also, fuck you if your Switch dies, because cloud saving doesn't support
And
it.
that doesn't make sense.
But it
And
auto saves.
yeah, but the thing is,
I mean, auto saves, yeah, but like,
If
what
your
if your
Switch
Switch
dies-
dies? Your town's gone. All
Yeah.
of your progress
If
is
you're-
gone.
Oh, okay.
it's because it saves to the console
Yeah, yeah,
itself,
yeah.
which that's ridiculous. I don't know why Nintendo, all their major games are like, oh yeah, cloud saves, and pay $20 a month for this. Not $20, $20 a year for cloud saves, but none of all the important games like Animal fucking Crossing is just like, oops, your town's gone forever if you switch switches or whatever. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just super excited. I really
I'm
hope.
so excited.
I really do hope to see some like networking capabilities, like I know a guy type capabilities.
Yeah.
because you get to like I don't know if we're gonna have a town center, but I imagine if you're not gonna have a town center, you're gonna have to get the museum somehow. You're gonna have to get what's his name's coffee place. You're gonna have Brewster's. You're gonna have to get all these other places, and how would you get them? And I would assume like you build it into your town.
Build it from the ground up. Also, 8-player multiplayer. Really excited about.
And like you and the other person can actually build together and do
Yep.
things together and finish projects quicker.
Yep, I'm way like eight players is really good because our group has expanded since the last new Animal Crossing. So there's not just 4 of us anymore. There's, like we could do 8 people, and then I'm so excited for that stupid game like that. God, I'm so excited for Animal Crossing. And then Nintendo ends on like, hey, here's our one more thing. Fucking sequel to Breath of the Wild in development, which is like, yeah, obviously, but just the fact that they showed something is like, oh, it's real. Okay, and it's taking a weird turn. What's Ganondorf doing?
I'm so happy that it's a Breath of the Wild sequel and not
Yeah.
another. It's a new Legend of Zelda game, which I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be a little disappointed that we didn't get more Breath of the Wild universe,
Yep.
because I love Breath of the Wild. I think it's one of the best Legend of Zelda games.
I think it is the
It's
best.
probably one of the best. I mean, just talking from a broad step, probably one of the best games ever made. So
Story wise,
And it's dark as shit.
the
It
story
looks
wise is
spooky.
good. Now, the one thing that people are trying, of course, you have a bunch of lore crafting going on right now,
of
trying to figure
course.
out where and what's going on with this Breath of the Wild 2 stuff. But most fingers are pointing towards a Twilight Princess, something to do with Twilight Princess.
yeah,
People are pointing towards Twilight Princess. People are even pointing towards.
Majora's Mask is what I was saying.
I've seen some Majora's Mask mentioned too, but
Well, that's mainly because it's because Majora's Mask takes place in a different universe or something like that, or
There's like after Ocarina of Time, there's like 5 different timelines or some bullshit.
yeah. But like the whole timeline split thing, I do think that we're gonna see. There's even the song that plays. If you play it backwards, it comes from a specific point in Twilight Princess.
Yep.
It's actually the theme of one of the main bad guys in Twilight Princess from what's his name? Oh God, I forgot his name.
Was it Zant?
Zant, yeah, it's actually his, and there's actually messages built in, like kind of into the audio frequency if you play it backwards.
Yeah.
By the way, if you play that trailer backwards, it makes sense backwards and forwards. It's kind of wild. They put a lot of detail. Like
Yeah.
they specifically made this trailer for the
Lorecraft. And I think this game is actually probably further along than we think.
I think
I don't
so,
think it's coming
too.
out next year or anything, but I think it's well in development. More into development than I would have figured a week ago.
I think so too, and it kind of scares me in a way because I think this is if it is a sequel. I mean, it is a sequel, but like if it is in that same realm, we're looking at like I love the idea of an archaeology type, especially you and Zelda running around, Link and Zelda running around,
Maybe
solving
play
the
as
mission.
Zelda now.
Maybe like be able to switch between the two. Where Zelda does more magic stuff, and
Maybe
you're Link.
Ganondorf is a good guy.
He was a fucking baby corpse. Wasn't a baby.
Maybe they get
everybody baby.
I've seen a lot of fan art. It was like, hey, here's Ganondorf rehydrated, and it's
Yeah.
Ganondorf shirtless, but like also like kind demeanor and stuff. So it's like, fuck, okay,
People horny for a
for
corpse.
anything. So that's E3. What was everybody's favorite game they saw during E3?
I mean, it doesn't really count with Death Stranding.
I would
Out of all the games that we've seen at E3, I'm still excited for Death Stranding.
I think Death Stranding counts, and technically it was there, but
Yeah.
but
speaking specifically E3, it's pretty hard actually.
yeah, I mean there was a lot
because
of
there's a lot of
shown.
stuff shown, but shit, I'll let someone else go. That's hard.
I'm going to give Animal Crossing obviously, but to give my non-Animal Crossing answer, I think I'm actually the most excited about Watch Dogs, which I would not have expected a week ago. Like we saw extended gameplay of it. I mean, we saw the whole breadth of the game. Like it's doing well in these behind closed doors demos. Like I'm fucking stoked for Watch Dogs. So, but Animal Crossing.
I think I have mine now. I think it's probably Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go back and play Final Fantasy 15, but I don't want to go back and replay it because it's such a long game.
Yeah.
And I already know the story fairly well because I only played it not that long ago. And I just want to play the Final Fantasy VII story so bad because I've never really played it. I've only seen memes and like videos talking about it. I've heard Jonathan talking about it when I was a baby. I'm really excited for Final Fantasy VII.
My non-Final Fantasy VII answer would probably be Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
When CD Projekt Red. Okay. Love you, Keanu. I know you're listening.
I think for me, of course, Animal Crossing is going to be my number one.
Of
But,
course.
I mean, that's kind of a given. So, second to that, I think the game that I'm most excited for and sort of like my head's been kind of thinking about more lately than even Animal Crossing, really, because everything about Animal Crossing is like, well, you get here's what you get. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, because you can't really Thorcraft. I want to say Thorcraft a lot.
I love Thorcraft.
I think the Breath of the Wild 2 has really like excited me. It's kind of made me want to go back and replay Breath of the Wild. It's been a year and a half since I played it.
And like actually came out of nowhere. Like there wasn't many people predicting like, hey, I think we're getting a Breath of the Wild sequel trailer at
Or like
E3.
teaser, whatever
Or
it is.
teaser, yeah.
But
I
like,
think I jokingly said the next Legend of Zelda game.
I think one of us on the pre E3 show was talking about 3D Zelda, but I don't remember who it was.
I'm very excited to see where they go with it. I think that it's a very complicated series. I think the fans have made it out to be more than what it is in some aspects, and I think that I think the creators and the story writers and the people creating the worlds, I think they know that, and for them to pull such a lore heavy trailer that mimics certain scenes in certain games and some of those messages that either purposefully or unpurposefully, I don't know, I guess it would be purposefully, they've placed in there. I think that they are leaning heavily into that lore, something that we haven't necessarily seen in a Zelda game before, and especially with seeing them kind of navigating ruins. I don't know. I love lore. I love Legend of Zelda lore, and it's very exciting to see we're seeing the developers and the creators actually lean into this lore. And if Skyward Sword was actually a good game, then I think a lot of people would understand that the excitement for the producers pushing into lore seems kind of fun.
And also the younger staff being heavily influenced by Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm like,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah.
I'm stoked about that. Winslow, what about you?
I have 5 answers.
Great.
First,
Also, Elden Ring, by the way, just saying that.
first Cyberpunk 2077, of course.
Cyberpunk.
12 minutes, crystals, blasphemous, and destroy all humans. I actually watched the gameplay for it. Looks really good. The fact that it has that old audio, completely fine.
Well,
What's Crystals?
Crystal, the game they showed at PC Gaming Show, the past, present, future game we talked about earlier.
Oh, Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's two words, but it's
Crystales.
pronounced
Yeah.
crystals.
Crystals.
Yeah. Well, that's E3 2019 in a nutshell for you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of the All You Can Hear podcast. You can check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Overcast, all your favorite RSS feed catchers. You can leave us a like, a review, a subscription, a rating. All of that helps us out tremendously. Just, you're listening to us, leave us something. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on twitch.tv/allyoucanhear. You can follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcast. You can follow us, our Twitch VOD YouTube channel is also All You Can Hear. And you can follow me, your boy, Tanner, at Tanner1495.
Me name Colt. Follow me Twitter at ColtD00. Just send me a video game. Just send me a video game picture.
My name is Jonathan, and I'm saying bye.
My name is Cody. You can follow me at CODDOC11 on Instagram. That's it.
Okay. Thank you for listening. I'm Winslow. You can follow me on Twitter at WinsyWilkie. You can find my art Instagram at World of Winsy.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.